From One Hub Stadium in Brisbane, welcome to round 8 of the Australian Baseball League season. Tonight, the series debut between the Canberra Cavalry and the Brisbane Bandits. With Australian silver medalist Paul Gonzalez, I'm Eric Bramer. Thanks for joining us tonight. The Bandits are hoping to get back on the right track, and after a 2-game winning streak to end their series in Perth, they hope that they get the finishing kick that they are accustomed to in their last 4 championship seasons.
Yeah, they're going to need to find really their mojo. They've had opportunities to capitalize in games and just haven't been able to convert. But this now, we're at the pointy end of the season. So if the Bandits want to start firing, this is the game they need to fire in.
The team in the 5th and final playoff spot with 12 games to go is the visiting team, the Canberra Cavalry. They have officially a record of 13-15, but there's more to the story. As we were reminded this past week, there's more to this than baseball. The Cavalry were unable to play their series against the Adelaide Giants in round 7 because of the poor weather and air conditions due to the bushfires raging throughout the country. They were awarded a half win for each of the 4 games. Right now they're 13-15, a game up on the Bandits.
Yeah, and like I said, this is the business end, and obviously a tough time in Canberra, and we wish everyone well there and all the hardships that's going on. But now this is a chance for the Bandits to see if they can capitalize on an opportunity. Guys were dormant for a week. Are they going to be able to play that to their advantage?
Cameron Warner will lead things off, and he takes the first pitch for a strike at 6:01 local time from Ryan Bollinger. 28 degrees Celsius, wind blowing out to right field as usual here at the home of the Brisbane Bandits. Cavalry are managed by Keith Ward. They were winners of 7 of their last 10 before they were unable to play last week. But in talking with the manager, Keith Ward, he said that they were able to get their work in, working around the sky conditions. And, of course, it's more than the physical danger of the fire. It's breathing in the smoke and keeping these elite athletes playing at their expected performance.
Yeah, and that's tough. I mean, like I said, the whole country is in a tough time at the moment, and like I said, we wish everyone well, but it'd be interesting to see how Canberra do come out.
Hot shot to short, played on a couple hops by Logan Wade. He throws across the diamond, and Cameron Warner is retired. Elsewhere for the Bandits defensively, Jeremy Martinez is catching. David Sutherland plays at first. Got a newcomer, Grant Kay, who made his debut last weekend. He's at second base with Wes Darville at third. Left to right across the outfield, it's Wade Dutton, Tim Colwell, and Donald Lutz. The big absence in the Bandits outfield this round, their mainstay center fielder, Andrew Campbell, who's out with some back issues.
Yeah, look, we got a chance to speak with him briefly, and he's had some sciatic just irritation, and he just thinks with a bit of rest, and thinks it's not a bad move. Just get him rest, get him healthy. There's 2 more series after this series, and he's vital to this club's success.
The DH, David Cantless, takes ball 1. And then a strike. Tom West calls balls and strikes behind home plate. First base umpire is Mal McKine. The third base umpire is Gavin Carson. Cantless batting an impressive .329 this season. He's one of 5 hitters in the Cavalry lineup, batting above the 300 mark, and they all bat 1 through 5 in the order. The Cavalry as a team are batting .297. Contrast that with the Bandits team batting average of .243.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the other thing is 37 home runs and compared to Bandits 27. So there's a lot of sock in this Cavalry lineup.
Swing and a miss, and the count is 2-2. Ryan Bollinger is surprisingly looking for his first win of the season. No wins and 5 losses for the veteran lefty, an ERA of 6.33 that has been inflated by a couple bad starts. We know how good he can be, however, as that pitch is fouled back. And he was also moved around from the bullpen to the rotation. The Bandits, in their roster construction, had more starters than there were starter spots, and Ryan, being left-handed, was moved out to the bullpen, but that's not where he is most accustomed to pitching, and I think the results showed.
Yeah, but right now, good pitch right there, and good job of hitting.
Just fair down the left field line into the corner. It'll be extra bases for Cantless. Dutton up to pick it up. He gets it back in. Near the chalk line, that was a very, very close call, but it goes the Cavalry's way, and just like that, Canberra is in business with a man at second and 1 down for Tucker Nathans.
And I guess the big thing for Bolly this year is just finding his rhythm. He's actually thrown the ball well, just had some tough luck. But now this is the business end, as we mentioned. If he can find a way to solidify himself in that one slot, this is when the Bandits truly need him to step up.
Last time out at Perth, he allowed 5 runs on 5 hits in 4 innings, taking the loss against the Heat. He did pitch earlier this year against the Cavalry in Canberra. First pitch, ball low and away. That game started out okay for him. In fact, he went into the 6th inning. 5 1/3 innings. Ultimately, he allowed 6 runs on 8 hits. And that is the trademark line score of someone who can pitch effectively, accustomed to coming out of the bullpen, but then peters out at the end. The hope is that Bollinger can finish the regular season strong. Such a big part of these last couple championship runs for the Bandits. Fastball, cutter, slider, splitter, and a change. A varied pitch mix from the southpaw. Swing and a miss, and the count evens. Crowd continuing to file in tonight. It was a hot day, but it's turned into a relatively pleasant evening, at least by my American standards. Off the inside corner, 2-1. That's the view from the Outlaws cam. That'll be full by the end of the night. A strike runs the count to 2-2.
Yeah, good pitch right there, and that's the pitch he's going to have to really have command on. He's not going to get away with getting away with the fastball, particularly against this lineup. We did mention at the beginning of the game hitting 297 with 37 home runs, so they have been one of the powerhouses in the league this year.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. A big second out with Candelas remaining at second base. That'll leave it to Zach Wilson.
Good pitch by Boley right there, and that's what I said. You're talking about a tough hitter in that number 3 slot. So now he's got to bear down against another tough hitter in Wilson, who can do some damage for Canberra.
And Wilson played well against the Bandits a month ago in Canberra. 3 extra base hits, batting average above 500. Wilson's second ABL season, and they have both been tremendous.
Well, here's where I think you're going to pitch tough and safe. You've got an open base with a lefty-righty combination, and he's probably the most dangerous hitter in the ABL. He's hitting 366, 6 home runs and 21 RBIs this year. So he's been extremely potent with the bat. So Boley's going to have to make sure he's very fine with his pitches.
Fouled back 1-1. Candelas at second base. Runs reasonably well, though he is a DH tonight. Wilson hits it sharply off the side of the mound. It goes to Kay, and that will do it for the Cavalry in the first inning. Bollinger works around a Candelas double. We remain scoreless, and the Bandits are coming to bat after this.
Hello, Charlie King here from the No More campaign. The campaign asks all Australians to say no more to family violence. The high and unacceptable levels of family violence in Australia are a national shame for all of us, but we can do something about it. We can link arms to symbolically show national unity. We can speak out against family violence, and we can encourage each other to be more respectful in our relationships. The Australian Baseball League joins the call for no more family violence. With teams linking arms across Australia, we are proud of their commitment. Together, we can make a difference.
Back in Brisbane for the home half of the first inning between the Bandits and the Cavalry. Bandits put up a 0 in the top half of the first, and they will send out a lineup against J.J. Hoover that begins with Tim Colwell, followed by Logan Wade and Jeremy Martinez. Wes Darville has made great strides in his time with the Bandits, now playing in his third week of games. Mitch Nielsen, Wade Dutton, Donald Lutz, Grant Kay, and David Sutherland. J.J. Hoover has carved out a pretty nice MLB career. He's currently a free agent, and in his first ABL season, the numbers look pretty good. 3-1 with an ERA of 4.28. He played 5 years for the Cincinnati Reds. In 2017, he was with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Played briefly with the Milwaukee Brewers in 2018, and this past year he was with AAA Fresno in the Washington Nationals organization. In talking with his manager, Keith Ward, I asked about his potential innings or pitch count limitations as he looks for a job. He said he's all in for us. He plays for us right now. He is a free agent, and he is trying to help his team win any way he can. That's exactly what you want your manager to say.
Well, and that's it. And that's what you want. And to have a veteran arm on the bump like you do now gives you a chance to really make that playoff push, and that's exactly what the Cavalry want.
First pitch swinging, Tim Colwell fouls it off. Colwell gets the start in center field with the absence due to injury of Andrew Campbell. You've seen Colwell at the heart of the order. He's in the leadoff spot tonight, and he is the perfect guy for the Bandits to start off the offense. Here's a liner out to left center. Coming on quickly and making the catch is Perkins for the first out.
Once again, another good at-bat, and we talked about him all year. Colwell's probably one of the most consistent to barrel the baseball up, and just didn't come up short right there, but he had a 294 clip at the start of the day.
Up next, Logan Wade, switch hitting shortstop. See the orange armband on the Bandits players' left sleeves. First pitch misses. That is part of the No More campaign to end domestic violence. And we'll talk more about that as the broadcast goes along. Bounced on the dirt, 2-0. Hoover, with a standard pitch selection, has a fastball, slider, curveball, and a change. Wade trying to get things going. The batting average at .262. Not quite where Logan is accustomed to having it. And now the count is 3-0.
We just see right there just the respect in a 2-0 count and gives him a breaking ball. So he's going to pitch backwards in hitting counts, and that's why he's going to be tough.
Wade takes all the way, and there's a strike. Wade is 5 off the team lead in runs batted in. 1 off the team lead in home runs with 3. Leads the team with 6 doubles, and here's a sharp single through the hole to right.
Good swing by Logan right there, and didn't try to do too much. And it's probably, if I said from a critical standpoint, one thing the Bandits have done, they've gotten probably too big in hitting counts. Stayed within himself, shot the ball in the right field right there, and that's a leadoff single for the Bandits.
Here's Jeremy Martinez. The 3 top offensive threats for the Bandits this season have all been import players. Tim Colwell from America, Jeremy Martinez from America, and Wes Darville waiting on deck arrived from Canada just before the new year. First pitch is a strike to the catcher. Martinez batting just above the 300 mark with 4 homers and 11 runs batted in. He's also drawn the most walks on the team with 14 to only 10 strikeouts. Pitch down, the count is even. With the obvious caveat that the baseball games this past weekend in Canberra were not and should not have been at the forefront of people's minds. Pitch missing. The Cavalry do have to get back into the swing of things because they were playing their best baseball of the season, and then right when you get to the heart of the pennant race, you take a weekend off.
No, I agree. And like I said, under the circumstances, everyone understands why the organization suspended that weekend. But now it's going to come down to, can they get back into playoff game mode and stay sharp. It's always hard when you've had a long lag, no matter how much work you've done on the field.
3-1 to Martinez with West Darville on deck. Bandits hoping to build a threat, knowing that they might not get another opportunity against the veteran Hoover. Runner goes, and it's ball 4. A single, now a walk. The Bandits have 2 on with 1 out for West Darville.
Well, that's exactly what the Bandits want right there, is get him to work and see where he's at with his, as far as his refinedness on the mound. Now that brings the guy to the plate that they do want in West Darville, who's hitting probably the hottest bat on the Bandits at 370 this year.
Darville has played in only 8 games, but the first pitch that he saw in the ABL was smoked off the first base bag for a single, and he has not slowed up since. Ball 1 misses.
Yeah, I like his approach. He comes in with a lot of experience. He's a veteran guy, but to come off the plane and do what he's done has been very impressive for the Bandits.
2-0. Hoover having some trouble with the strike zone. Hoover did start against the Bandits and turned in a quality start back on the 19th of December. 3 runs, 2 of them earned on 7 hits over 6 innings. Gave him one of his 3 winning decisions. Hitters count to Darville. The 2-0 is ripped to right. High and deep and gone! West Darville gives the Bandits a 3-0 lead with his first ABL home run. 2-0 pitch, and you can't throw him a cookie, but it was right there.
Yeah, I tell you what, he did exactly what a veteran guy does. He got a pitch middle in, belt high, and he deposited deep into right field fence. So that's exactly the spark the Bandits needed, particularly in this big series against Canberra.
Now Mitch Nielsen, the designated hitter. There's a strike, 1-1. That was somewhat improbably the first home run that Hoover has allowed this season in the ABL. Jumped foul.
The key is getting ahead in the count. We talk about this ballpark in particular. You can't concede walks. Solo shots are tough to beat you on solo shots. We've seen one game where there was 4 or 5 solo shots that day, and but he just got to make sure he finds his zone. And right now he's just struggling a little bit with his secondary pitches in the zone.
Popped up on the infield. Hoover, the pitcher, makes the play himself, and that's out number 2. Let's take a look at the Cavalry in the field. Defense for Canberra. Robbie Perkins is catching, Zach Wilson at first, Nathans and Melian, the middle infielders, with Cam Warner at third. Perkins, Podorski, and Suter across the outfield. Cavalry are a well-rounded club, and most of this team last year was just a couple innings away from going to the ABL Championship Series before the Bandits rallied late in the third and decisive game of the semifinal round.
Well, like you mentioned, this club has probably played some of the strongest baseball in the second half of the season. They had a slow start, but they got a lot of momentum in the back half. So the key is, can they find that momentum again?
Wade Dutton checked to swing but went around. He's quickly behind 0-2. Dutton had a nice weekend in Perth. had a 4-hit, 4 RBI game on Sunday, leading his team to victory. And he takes a called third strike to end the first inning. But it's a good first inning for the Bandits. A single from Wade, a walk from Martinez, and a long ball from West Darville. It's a 3-0 lead going to the second on Bandits.tv.
Taking off overseas this year? You wouldn't believe who you may run into at the airport. The Brisbane Bandits have partnered with award-winning China Airlines to be our gateway to the world. China Airlines operate the brand new Airbus A350 out of Brisbane, so you can be assured of a safe, comfortable and relaxed flight to wherever you may be headed. With daily flights from Brisbane to Auckland and return, you may just bump into a few of our champions lending a hand on board. And we'll be doing our best to live up to China Airlines 5-star services. So wherever you're heading overseas on China Airlines, keep an eye out for the Brisbane Bandits. You just never know who you might see.
In the last 4 years, we have put up some numbers.
Welcome back to One Hump Stadium in Brisbane. 3-0 Bandits over the Cavalry as we head to the top of the second inning. With Paul Gonzalez, I'm Eric Bramer. We mentioned that players tonight were wearing orange armbands on their left sleeves, and that is in support of the No More campaign. More than 100 women, children, and men were killed last year in Australia as a result of family and domestic violence. These are more than numbers. Most people are wives, children, husbands, parents, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, and friends. The No More campaign uses the power of sport to change the way the public views family violence. It was founded in 2006 and has grown since then. Baseball in Australia has partnered with the No More campaign for the last 4 years with an annual ABL round where players link up to show a united front for change. The women national team having a domestic violence action plan and No More days at our national championships. Gons, I know that we can both throw our support fully behind this initiative, and it's good to see everyone gathering around to support a worthy cause.
Absolutely, and that's where sport can be a great awareness vehicle, and it obviously acknowledge Baseball Australia for generating the initiative.
Jarek Suter sends a high fly out to right, and that ball is gone. Into the wind and over the fence. Jarek Suter on the first pitch of the second inning gets the Cavs on the board. It's 3-1. Lutz out there in right field, timed the leap as best he could, but the ball just kept carrying.
Well, and we talked about how strong this ball club was, and it was one swing of the bat, and all of a sudden now we've got a 3-1 ball game. Get a chance to see the pitch location up in the zone, and just got enough barrel on it to drive it out to right field, and now we got 3-1 game.
That'll bring in Robbie Perkins. Perkins batting just under the 300 mark, 299 to be exact, and that'll bring him above the magic 300 line. A line drive single to right field, and just like that, the tying run will come to the plate in the form of Kyle Perkins.
And once again, like you said, the pressure this ball club has offensively with fall behind quickly, and all of a sudden now you got a solo shot and a single into right field, so these guys can swing the bat, and this is the back end of the order.
Perkins batting an even 200 this season. First pitch is a strike. We want to give you some information on the No More initiative and tell you what to do your part. Bollinger takes the sign. Swing and a miss. First thing you can do, don't remain silent. Confront abusive behavior when you see it. You can also understand how your own attitudes and actions may support sexism and violence, and you can work towards changing them. Self-improvement in all fields is welcome. 0-2 coming. Bollinger looking for a strikeout of Perkins. Bounced in the dirt. Perkins didn't chase. That might have been where that pitch was intended to be, but on 0-2, Perkins was able to lay off.
Yeah, and good job by Martinez right there. It's a good pitch. Down and away, it's a waste pitch to see if he can get him to chase it. But he's still ahead in the count, and obviously his goal right now is to see if he can induce a ground ball and get two. Bollinger
with a pickoff throw. Robbie Perkins in safely. If you suspect that someone close to you is being abused, gently offer your help and support. Respect women and treat them as equals. Recognize and speak out against homophobia and gay bashing. Educate yourself and others about masculinity, gender inequality. There's a liner caught in the air by Wade, and that will be an easy double play. Shoestring catch made by the Bandit shortstop, and with Perkins taking off for second, all he had to do was throw over to first to double him up.
And really good job right there. I mean, ball was hit extremely hard right at Logan Wade, and Logan stayed with it. And with the runner trying to advance to second base, easy double play, and it keeps the Bandits out of a potential big inning.
Here's Kelvin Melian, the shortstop. Melian making his season debut. First pitch misses down. Educate yourself and others about masculinity, gender inequality, and the root cause of gender violence. And mentor and teach boys about how to be men in ways that don't involve degrading or abusing girls and women. Fouled off. All good ideas. It's easy to say it, but it's another thing entirely to live that out, and hopefully we can all do better to make the world a better place. 1-1 from Bollinger. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Good pitch again right there. Looks like either that slider or that cutter is working really well for him. If he can continue to have command of that, that makes him tough because he still gets the ball anywhere from 91 to 93.
Just missing. Bollinger wanted it, but didn't get it. Melian played last year for the Cavalry, hitting .203 in 16 games. 1 homer, 2 runs batted in. There's a strikeout to end the second inning. The frame begins with a Jarek Suter home run, but after that, Bollinger settles down. It's 3-1 going to the bottom of the second on Bandits.tv.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?
Bandits over the Cavalry as we head to the home half of the second at One Hub Stadium in Brisbane. With Paul Gonzalez, this is Eric Bramer. Game 1 of round 8. Seems hard to believe, but there are only 12 games remaining in the regular season. And after next weekend, the Bandits will be done with their home schedule. You're running out of chances to see this team in person, so if you are able, we'd love to see you either this weekend or next. Bottom third of the order due up for the Bandits, Lutz, Kay, and Sutherland against J.J. Hoover. First pitch to Donald Lutz, misses down and away, ball 1. Hoover threw 23 pitches in the first inning, only 12 were for strikes. The big blow, a 3-run homer off the bat of Wes Darville. And now 2-0 to Lutz. There's a strike. I mentioned that this past weekend the Cavalry were unable to play their games due to the bushfires going on throughout Australia. 2-1 coming to Lutz. Check swing and a strike, 2-2. The Bandits are going to be doing their part this upcoming Saturday. It's going to be Bushfire Appeal Day, and $1 from every beer sold here at the ballpark on Saturday will go towards the appeal, in addition to $100 for every Bandits home run hit on Saturday. It'll be a doubleheader with one ticket for the two games, and hopefully the Bandits can hit a lot of home runs and do a little bit of good.
Well, I'll tell you what, when the Bandits do hit home runs, there's a lot of consumption. So hopefully those two will come in, and I think they're expecting a sellout. So that'll be a great night for the Bandits.
Scientists would call that a feedback loop. Here's a called strike 3. Lutz goes down, and Hoover comes back from a hitter-friendly count to retire the leadoff man in the second inning. Back-to-back strikeouts for Hoover, going back to the strikeout of Dutton that ended the first.
And that's what the Bandits were very fortunate. We talk about capitalizing opportunities. In the first inning, you had first and second and one out. Darvish hit the big 3-run shot. Now you watch Hoover, how he starts to settle in as a big leaguer will, and he'll get tougher as the game progresses.
Here's the newest Bandit, Grant Kay. Kay this past year in America was in the Tampa Bay Rays organization, splitting time between the rookie level and AA Montgomery. Looking for his first ABL hit this past weekend in Perth. He played in all 4 games, but went 0 for 9 at the plate. He did draw a pair of walks, and he did drive in a run. So he contributed to those 2 Bandits wins. 2-1 the count. Kay, 26 years old. Born in Omaha, played collegiate ball at Louisville. 2-2. And we understand that his grandparents are watching tonight, which means that they're up at 2, 3 in the morning. Props to them.
Props to them, yeah. But tell you what, often you get a chance to see your grandson.
Foul tip and a strikeout. Nice job by Perkins hanging on to it. 2 up, 2 down.
You get a chance to see him play baseball and compete on the other side of the world, so what a great opportunity for that young man.
That'll bring in David Sutherland, batting at the bottom of the Bandits order. That's the mark of a good lineup, Gons, to have someone like David Sutherland, an ABL veteran, rounding out your starting 9.
Look, and that's the depth of this lineup, and really the only thing is getting these guys to fire to their capabilities. If they do, this is one of the toughest lineups in the league. So now it's the time to find that recipe for success.
Hoover looks to be more of himself here in the second inning, a 1-1 count to the big Bandits first baseman.
And that's what we talked about. You know, they had the layoff, and even if you've got a chance to play simulated games, it's still finding your rhythms and getting back to game speed. So Bandits were fortunate enough they had a good series in Perth against a very tough team. They won the last 2 ball games. Can they keep that momentum against this team and take advantage of that dormant weekend?
Fouled at the plate, 1-2. Hoover goes to the rosin bag as he looks to finish off a 1-2-3 second inning. Sutherland rips it out to right, but it's hit directly at Suter, who makes a head-high catch for out number 3. Hoover quiets down, has a 1-2-3 second, and we head to the third in Brisbane. Bandits leading it 3-1 on Bandits.tv.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. You get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there. And you get to do the sign-off.
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
Another beautiful night for baseball in Queensland. It's a 3-1 Bandits lead over the Cavalry as we head to the top of the third inning. Ryan Bollinger has thrown 30 pitches with 20 for strikes over his first two frames. He'll face 9, 1, and 2 in the Cavalry order: Podorski, Warner, and Candelas. Cavalry have out-hit the Bandits 3-2, but the Bandits have made their hits count for a little bit more. The difference in the ballgame, the big 3-run homer for Wes Darville in the first. Robbie Podorski tries to drop a bunt down and pull it with him up the first base line, but it goes foul, strike one. Podorski looking for his first ABL hit. There's a strike, and he's behind 0-2 in his first ABL plate appearance. Podorski was drafted by the Padres in the 25th round of the 2017 draft. Played this last year with the Lake Elsinore Storm. Popped up right on the mound. And Bollinger makes the catch. Rare is the day that you see a pitcher catch his own pop-up, but we've seen it twice now, one from each starter in the first 3 innings.
I was going to say that's the first time I've seen it in a long time, but you know, it's very, very rare you do see it. Normally they'll call them off, but they were both easy pop-ups and two good athletes and able to make the outs of the day.
Lineup turns over for Cameron Warner, who grounded out to short to begin the ballgame. First pitch is in for ball one. Swing and a miss, and the count is 1-1. In talking with the Bandits players and coaches, they feel, or at least they certainly hope, that allowing 9 runs in the first inning of their first game last Saturday in Perth was the rock bottom of their season. While they did not come back to win that game, they played well. They got a good pitching performance from Rick Teasley. They won the nightcap of the doubleheader, and then they came back on Sunday afternoon to salvage a split against the Heat out west. The last time they won 3 consecutive ball games was their 4-game series sweep of Geelong Korea back in round 2. That was in late November. So it's been more than a month since this club won 3 games in a row. They're hoping to change that tonight.
And the funny thing is they're still in the mix. They're right in the mix. And we've seen them in this position before over the last couple of years, and then just find a way to go to the next gear.
Hit hard down the left field line, turning towards the corner, but goes foul, and the count is 2-2.
And that's the real question for the Bandits and the Bandits fans right now. Are they going to find their mojo? Are they going to find their rhythm and make that push? I believe they will. I think it's in the character of this ball club. It's just, like I said, since that big 9-run inning, they felt like they found another gear.
I'll battle it up, boy. Here you go.
Count was 3-2, and that is a walk for Warner, bringing in Candelas.
Candy.
I don't know if either of us can disagree with the league's decision to award a half win to each club for the postponed and outright canceled games this past weekend. But the Bandits fans, and the players for that matter, were following with bated breath because it impacts the Bandits' playoff chances how they decided to rule on those games that wouldn't be played.
Well, my opinion is you've got 3 series left. It's in your own faith, and then you finish up against teams you have to beat. So you've got Canberra, you've got Sydney, and then you finish up in Auckland. So I think the way the schedule plays out, it actually plays to their favor to try to make that playoff push.
While the Cavalry have played only 24 games and have won 11 of them, their record, for all intents and purposes, because of the half wins awarded, is 13-15. The Bandits are 12-16. So right now, that's what the Bandits are focused on, getting to a better record than the Cavalry. If you win this series, you also even up the season series. Called strike, and it's 1-1.
Well, the advantage is Bandits play the next 2 series here at home. They play well at home, and they've got to continue to keep that trend. And then obviously they go to Auckland and they finish up the year. now another advantage, 7-inning ball games in Auckland. Can they utilize that with their arms to their advantage?
The Tuatara certainly have. Swing and a miss. Candalis behind 1 and 2. Auckland has won 11 consecutive games in their home ballpark. And right now they look like one of the better teams in the league. But, and this is not to take anything away from what the Tuatara have accomplished with the rules that they were handed to work with. You make it to the playoffs, it's back to 9-inning games. And that team seems clearly built to play 7-inning games and win them.
And that plays mentally. This game is so much mental. And will they be able to make the mental adjustments knowing that they're not going to be able to go to their closer in the 6th? Now they've got to wait that out, and they've got to buy time to get to their closer. So, it may play havoc, particularly mentally.
Warner goes, and no throw down to second. Stolen base for the Cavalry leadoff man. He's now in scoring position with the count 2-2 to Candalis.
Look, playoff baseball will really, and we're talking about right now the push, start to see how teams adjust to the pointy end of the season. We've seen teams collapse and we've seen teams rise. This is the fun part of the year for me throughout the whole league.
Upstairs, and the count runs full to Candalis with Tucker Nathans on deck. While it was unfortunately a topic of conversation 2 weeks ago, when the Bandits were last in town, that these dimensions play to Brisbane's advantage. But it's not something that you can control. You play the cards you're dealt, you try and craft the team around whatever you perceive to be your home field advantage. Called strike 3. Candalis thought it was ball 4 instead. He reverses course and heads back to the dugout as out number 2. Tucker Nathans will try and extend the inning.
Yeah, good pitch by Boley right here. You get a chance to see in the replay the location. Looks like a little cut fastball, so that's why Candalis thought maybe the ball's the inner half, but it did catch the inner half of the plate. Just good location and good execution of the pitch.
There's a long tradition of using your home field to your advantage, whether it's outfield dimensions, San Francisco Giants, and there's a drive to left center field. Long run for Colwell. He won't catch it, and a run will come home. Extra bases for Nathans as Warner comes in to score. It's 3-2, and the Cavs have the tying run in scoring position.
And once again, right there, really good job of hitting that situation. Tucker comes in hitting .321 and shows why he's so productive in the 3 slot with 5 home runs and 12 RBIs. Now that's his 13th. But good job of hitting against a tough lefty.
Here's Zach Wilson. San Francisco Giants in what is now Oracle Park have a big expansive outfield. They got speed guys and they got fly ball pitchers to try and make the most of that. St. Louis Cardinals of the 1980s, back when they were playing on the artificial turf of the old Busch Stadium, would get a bunch of speed guys to pound the ball into the dirt in the turf and steal bases. Minnesota Twins used the Teflon roof of the Metrodome to their advantage way back when. And maybe that's just what this Tuatara 7-inning situation is going to be for them. A unique quirk. Here's a liner in and out of the glove of Darville, picks it up, recovers, and throws to retire Wilson. Great play by Darville at the hot corner. He got a liner to his left and was able to stay with the play to end the inning. Cavalry get one back on the Nathans double. It's 3-2 on Bandits.tv.
Great job, Chef.
Thanks.
Who wants a drink?
Let's go, Archer. Beers away.
Thank you, Archer.
Looks like these guys are working up a tropical thirst, Archer.
Thank you, Archer!
Beers to the beach.
Yeah!
Thank you, Archer!
They look thirsty down there in the outback, Archer.
Well, I'll be.
Archer! Yeah!
Good boy, Archer.
Bandits up by a run as we head to the bottom half of the third inning in the round 8 opener between Brisbane and Canberra. Bandits will send up the top third of their order, Colwell, Wade, and Martinez against J.J. Hoover, who after the West Darville home run has retired 5 straight, 3 via the strikeout. Pitch count for Hoover at 38 with 21 for strikes. Colwell was retired his first time up, but he did hit the ball sharply. Liner to left center that was tracked down by the left fielder Perkins. Hoover's first is a strike at the letters on the outer half. Missing down, the count evens. Colwell has been a great addition to this team, batting .291 entering this at bat. 2-1. Good defense in the field. He's been a threat on the bases, even though the Bandits as a club don't really run all that much. Sharply hit. Nice pickup by the first baseman Wilson, but the throw to first goes wide. Pitcher Hoover might have been late to cover, but I don't think it would have mattered. And because of the unique ground rules here in foul territory, Colwell will get an extra base as that ball was deemed to have been out of play.
And once again, you just mentioned his speed, and I like him in the 1 slot because he puts pressure on defense. So good backhand play right there, just a high feed or an errant feed right there. And now that puts the Bandits in runner in scoring position with nobody out.
Logan Wade is next. Switch hitter batting lefty. Try and pull the ball and at the very least get Colwell to third base. Best case scenario, he trades places with him, or maybe circles the bases himself. First pitch down and in for a ball.
And this is where we talk about just the execution baseball. This is where the Bandits, when they've won championships, they've been very, very good in this space. So can they play execution baseball and generate offense?
Wade early sends it foul beyond his dugout. Outlaw section filling up a little bit. Right for the belt line. Wade jumps out of the way.
And that's good pitch. That's just running the ball in on his hands and just getting him to think about the inner half. Obviously, Logan wants to try to hook the ball the right side of the field, so just put a little bit of pressure on the inner half.
Wade gets a pitch up and sends it to left center field. Colwell had to hold up and he will stop at third base. Throw into the cut is off target, but that's the safe play with no outs. Runners at the corners after the Wade single, and here's Jeremy Martinez up next.
And that's championship baseball right there. He got a breaking ball up in the zone, stayed through the baseball, found that hole up past the shortstop. Colwell has to freeze on that ball, but that puts first and third and nobody out for the Bandits.
Martinez drew a walk in the first, a batter before the Darville 3-run homer. Colwell, by the way, got to second on a 2-base error. No infield single. Just a straight throwing error from the first baseman, Wilson. Infield playing back. They'll take a double play and trade a run for 2 outs. First pitch fouled off.
And once again, opportunities for the Bandits to see if they can capitalize. And they've got the right guys at the plate. They have 3, 4, 5 coming up with runners at first and third and nobody out. So can they take advantage of this situation against a tough righty?
Martinez sends a high fly into center. Podorski going back at the wall, and it's off the wall. Colwell will score. Into third is Wade. It's an RBI double for Jeremy Martinez. The Bandits get that run back, and it's now 4-2. It was hit a mile in the air to center field. And usually, if you get the ball up to center in this ballpark, it finds a way out, but this time it did not. Bandits have started the inning with 3 base runners, and now Wes Darville, who homered his last time up.
Yeah, the positives right there. Deep fly ball, that scores 1, but that puts second and third and nobody out. Now with probably one of the most dangerous hitters in the lineup at the plate.
Infield is still back, save for the corners, who are playing even. First pitch is a strike. Darville's homer came on a 2-0 pitch back in the first inning. Hoover doesn't want to make that mistake again.
Now, right now, if he can find a way to drive the ball to the right side of the field, he drives in a run and he advances the runner. So
Darville moves his feet and the count evens. Did you see how high up that wall the ball hit?
I actually thought it was going to get out. I mean,
I thought so too.
He ran out of real estate, but just stayed in the ballpark. But very good job of hitting by Martinez. And got a chance. I came out to batting practice on Tuesday night and watched him swing the bat. He swings about a 32.5-inch bat, which is what Tony Gwynn swung when he was still playing.
Shorter than average.
Yeah, but the reality is he handles the ball so well in the inner half and uses the whole field. So he's actually a really good fit in that slot.
Chopped foul. Now, the conventional wisdom around bat length and the drop between length and weight in ounces has changed, or at least evolved over the years. What did you swing?
I swung at 34, 32, and for me, I like to feel the weight of the bat and let the weight of the bat do the work.
34 inches, 32 ounces.
Ounces, correct.
Subtract 1 from the other, you get a drop of 2, which
correct.
is the way you measure the bats. Chopped towards second, it'll bring home a run. Darville is retired, but Wade scores from third, and it's 5-2. Productive out, professional at bat.
And exactly what you just said. That's a productive out, and right now, he should be acknowledged because it's about producing runs and finding a way to generate offense. He did that. A 3-hopper to second base. Now all of a sudden he's got a man on third base, 1 out, and he's driven in a run. So that's a quality at bat for the Bandits.
Here's Mitch Nielsen, who popped up to the pitcher his first time.
It'll be interesting to see. So Canberra are going to pinch, and now they're playing infield in. So they're obviously, if they get something on the ground to them, they'll make a play at home.
First pitch, spun off the end of the bat foul. Not enough spin to bring it back fair.
And this is where it comes down to game plan at the plate. What do you want to do in this situation against a tough pitcher? He's got a plus breaking ball, plus slider. Now you got to find something up in the zone to see if you can drive it to the outfield.
Just beneath the knees for a ball, 1-1. Martinez at third base runs well for a catcher, but when in doubt, you'd expect him to stay put on a grounder to an infielder. Down and in, 2-1.
And this will come down to Reed. So he can take a lead, but he's got to be careful of the backdoor pick from the catcher, so he's not going to overextend himself. But you're right, with the infield in, he's got to read the baseball on the ground.
Even a fly ball to the outfield would have to be a certain depth for him to try and make the mad dash to the plate. 3-1 with first base open and Wade Dutton on deck.
And now he finds himself in a hitting count, but when you're facing a big league guy, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a cookie fastball. So he's got to look for something he can handle.
Hoover's pitch, chopped foul.
He ended up getting a fastball, middle in, and Wes got one and hit one about 400 feet. So now he's got to battle 3-2 in a tough situation.
That foul ball almost got Reese down there. Glad he's wearing a helmet. Reese, one of our camera operators on this hailstorm crew. Called strike 3. Nielsen thought it was inside. He had already taken off his shin protector, and he mutters under his breath as he retreats to the dugout as out number 2.
Yeah, good location by Hoover right now. That's the big league pitch and big league location. He knows he has to be fine, and you get a chance to see it. And Tommy West calls that on the inner half. So Perkins sets up in under hands, and he hits his spot, and Tommy West rewards him with the location.
4th strikeout for Hoover, and 3 of them have been looking. Wade Dutton was the first of those strikeout victims. He ended the first inning. First pitch is a strike. Infield can now afford to play back at normal depth. Martinez will be off on contact. On appeal, Dutton held up his check swing 1-1.
So far, the Bandits have done exactly what they need to do in the situations. Now the big winner, and we talk about what wins championships, is 2-out RBIs. Can the Bandits come up with a big 2-out RBI in this situation?
Swing and a miss, 1-2. Just off the corner. That time Hoover doesn't get the call, and the at-bat will continue. Already 2 runs in. One of them will be unearned for Hoover, and any future runs will be unearned. Called strike 3. 5 strikeouts for Hoover. 4 of them have been looking, and that ends the 3rd inning with Martinez still at 3rd base. But it's a good inning for the Bandits. They get their 2 runs back that they let in, and it's 5-2 going to the 4th on Bandits.tv.
Taking off overseas this year? You wouldn't believe who you may run into at the airport. The Brisbane Bandits have partnered with award-winning China Airlines to be our gateway to the world. China Airlines operate the brand new Airbus A350 out of Brisbane, so you can be assured of a safe, comfortable and relaxed flight to wherever you may be headed. With daily flights from Brisbane to Auckland and return, you may just bump into a few of our champions lending a hand on board. And we'll be doing our best to live up to China Airlines 5-star services. So wherever you're heading overseas on China Airlines, keep an eye out for the Brisbane Bandits. You just never know who you might see.
In the last 4 years, we have put up some numbers. Led the league in hits, RBIs, stolen bases, slugging, home runs, batting average, ERA, single season saves record. We've had 2 home run champions, 2 league MVPs, 4 ABL championships. But none of this would have been possible without Brett Sports, the official equipment partner of the Brisbane Bandits.
5-2, Bandits on top of the Cavalry as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Ryan Bollinger has been given a couple more runs of cushion back after the Cavalry whittled away in the early 3-0 lead. Bollinger will face 5, 6, and 7 in the Cavalry order. It'll be Suter, Perkins, and Perkins. And it is our pleasure to be joined here for the next couple innings in the booth by Lisa Nouri. Lisa, welcome back.
Thank you.
Lisa was on the Bandits coaching staff last year, and I know you are staying busy in the game of baseball. Tell us about your adventures the last few months.
Yep, keeping myself busy. So I've recently been appointed the manager of the men's national team for New Caledonia. So I travel over there every month and work out with the boys over there. Just got back from the States, got invited to go back to the winter meetings again, so that was all good.
Winter meetings this year were in San Diego. Yes, yeah. How did you like that?
Yeah, it was beautiful. I haven't been there before, so I actually got to get out and have a look around a couple of days, so that was nice.
Here's Jarek Suter, who hit a home run in the 2nd inning to get the Cavs on the board. Pitch count for Bollinger is at 48, with 30 of them for strikes. Popped up on the infield, another early swing from Suter. That takes Kay back into the outfield grass, but he makes the catch for a quick first down. Up next, Robbie Perkins, who singled in the second, but then was doubled off of first in a line drive. Tell me about baseball in New Caledonia. Growing sport, I imagine.
Yes, it is growing. It's a lot different over there. Obviously, they don't have a lot of nice grounds and equipment to work with, but there's a lot of support from the government over there, which is really good. So it's definitely a developing sport.
You mentioned this was your second year going to the winter meetings, and you went last year as part of a Women in Baseball initiative that Major League Baseball is doing. I imagine that's why you came back for a second year as well.
Yeah, so the diversity and inclusion program that they run over there.
Bollinger delivers. Swing and a miss, 1-2. What strides is Major League Baseball making in making this game more accessible to different people?
Look, they're doing a great job with involving a lot of women over there now. We've had the two Rachels. Rachel Folden has recently been appointed with the Cubs, and the other Rachel's with the Yankees. So they're both hitting coaches in the organisation. So and a lot of girls in the scouting, in the office. There's so many opportunities now. So they're doing a fantastic job.
Chopped up the middle past Wade. Perkins is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. That'll bring in Kyle Perkins. How about women in baseball in Australia? How is that going along as we try and grow this game and make it more marketable to more people?
Look, we've done a great job. The Emeralds program does a great job with women and promoting women in baseball. Obviously, with the No More campaign, we've been running that for the last 3 years, which has grown and come into the ABL as well. So, we're getting there.
We talked a little bit about the No More campaign at the beginning of the broadcast because the players are wearing those orange armbands. Swinging a foul. What can people do if they want to be an ally?
Oh, look, we run a great program, as I said, within the Emeralds. So if they want to get on board, get in contact with Baseball Australia or the Emeralds, or we've also got the website on here with the No More campaign. So we have a lot of the Emeralds players spread throughout Australia that are heavily involved in the campaign and just making sure people are aware of it, what's going on.
And that website is www.nomore.org.au. If you'd like to establish your own domestic violence action plan or host a No More Violence Day or fundraiser, go to that website. Again, that's nomore.org.au to see the template or contact No More directly for support. Before the 0-2, a pickoff throw to first, and Perkins gets back in. Regardless of the sport that you coach or manage, when you make a new hire, you want someone who has a winning tradition. And with the Bandits, you were definitely part of that winning tradition. When you look back at your time in the dugout and in uniform for the Bandits, what sticks out?
Oh, look, I was fortunate enough to be part of it for the 2 of the 4 consecutive years. I suppose just being amongst the high-end athletes and the imports and all the coaching stuff, you're just learning different things every day. Big difference between the women's game and the men's game. Just obviously they're bigger and stronger and it's a lot quicker.
You still play the women's game, or have you moved on fully to coaching and managing?
No, I still play a bit.
What are you? What positions are you playing, and what leagues are you playing in?
I just play in the lower divisions and play shortstop. Come in and close now and then, but.
Here's manager Keith Ward of the Cavalry. Chopped foul, and Perkins is hanging tough. Well, you talk about the difference between the men's game and the women's game, and it's not a matter of quality. It's just that there are structural differences between what women do on a baseball field and what men do on a baseball field. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about some of those differences?
Oh, look, as I said, they bigger and stronger, a lot quicker. The game is a lot quicker than the women's game, and that's what we're about, is practicing at game speed so it doesn't catch up on us. So, at practice, we just got to practice at game speed. We sort of get complacent and just go through the motions. So,
called strike 3 of Perkins. That's out number 2 in the 4th inning. That'll leave it to Kelvin Melian. Seeing these orange jerseys here at One Hub Stadium reminds me of the ABL semifinals last year when the Bandits had their backs against the wall. In the decisive Game 3, they were 6 outs away from seeing their season and their dynasty come to a close before they rallied late. Called strike. I don't know how closely you've been following the Bandits this year, but what does this team need to do in your mind to get back where they're accustomed to being?
Oh, look, I think, it showed last year. We had some big things happen on and off the field, and the good thing is with these guys, they have each other's back and they will rally right to the end. They just got to stay within themselves and play their game and trust each other as they do. Trust in their staff, trust in each other, and they'll come good.
Bollinger hoping to protect this 3-run lead. Perkins at first after his single. Missing inside to Melian, and the count is 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. In the big picture, Lisa, we're joined by Lisa Nouri up here in the booth. How are things going as we try and grow baseball on the women's side, and what more needs to be done to reach that next level?
Oh, look, we've put it out there. Well, Baseball Australia have put it out there, and we're looking at starting the women's ABL. And the good thing about that is when that gets off and running, we'll have the best athletes in the country playing on a more regular basis against each other on a more regular basis, rather than they go and play in the men's game. They're not playing in their regular positions. They're not playing as much baseball. So if we get the ABL up and running, we get a few imports brought in, so they're playing with and against the best possible athletes in the country and the world.
Nice pickup on the one-hop liner. Kay throws to first. And Melian is retired. It's a 0 in the top of the 4th inning for Ryan Bollinger against the Cavalry. We'll be back with more from Lisa Nouri after this on Bandits.tv.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
(5-2) Bandits over the Cavs as we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning here at One Hub Stadium in Brisbane. Bottom third of the order due up for the Bandits. Lutz, Kay, and Sutherland against J.J. Hoover. And we continue our conversation with Lisa Nouri, the manager of the men's team in New Caledonia.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So how did that come about? Because that seems to be
quite foreign.
A bit foreign,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I went over there actually to teach Baseball 5 and run a Baseball 5 tournament over there. So I was lucky enough to go to Cuba last year to end up being able to teach and accredit people back here in Australia Baseball 5. So I was asked to go over to New Caledonia to run that.
Lutz struck out looking his first time up, and he takes a called strike.
Yeah, and we just got talking about baseball over there. Was asked to, would I consider coming on board with their national team?
What kind of grassroots baseball movement is there in New Caledonia to develop the players that will eventually play on the national team?
Yeah, they've got a lot of the younger kids.
High fly into right. Wind will help it, but not as much help as it needs. Suter there to make the catch for the first out.
A lot of training camps, and they've got a competition running with the juniors over there now, and they're really getting out to schools and to clubs and really pushing to get the juniors coming through.
Here's Grant Kay looking for his first ABL hit. First pitch is hit sharply, but on the ground right to the shortstop Melian, and Kay is retired. Quickly 2 down in the 4th inning. Talked about Baseball 5, and I know that people who are following closely Baseball Australia, they know Baseball 5, but for the uninitiated, what is it?
So it's just a mixture of baseball, softball. All you need really is the ball, and you can play anywhere. It's a smaller diamond, 5 players aside, 5 innings, no equipment at all, no bats, no gloves, just the ball.
Sutherland lined out to right his first time up, and he takes a strike. You use your arm or your hand as the bat, right?
Correct, yep, so you hold the ball in the palm of your hand and hit it with the other hand.
It's the sort of game that can be played in a city street or an alley or a physical education class or something like that, right?
Yeah, you can play it anywhere. You can even, if need be, it's a bit hard, but play it on the beach. It's a bit of fun.
1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Yeah, so it started as a street game back in Cuba, and they've run with it. It's now gone into the Youth Olympics. So.
The ball's a little bit different, right? A little bit softer.
Squishy.
Skipped off the plate, 2-2. Have a chance to meet anyone cool at the winter meetings?
Yeah, I had a long chat with Billy Owens, the assistant GM for Oakland A's.
Sutherland gets a piece. Last year, I know you met LaTroy Hawkins, right, at the winter meetings?
Yep, sure did. Caught up with him again this year, so it's good.
The MLB winter meetings is the biggest gathering, even counting the season. I don't know if there's ever a place where all the teams and all the representatives are in one place at one time.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy there. It's like Wall Street, and you go down to the lobby.
Get all the college students in their suits and ties handing out their resumes to anyone who will take one.
Yeah, looking for jobs.
3-2. Sutherland again hits it hard to right. This time it'll get down for a base hit. Suter over to pick it up. A 2-out single for Sutherland will turn the lineup over for Tim Caldwell. Caldwell is 0 for 2. Lined out to left in the first, and then in the third, he hit a chopper to first, finding his way eventually to second base because of a bad feed from the first baseman Wilson to the pitcher covering. First pitch hit sharply on one hop to Nathans, and that will do it for the Bandits in the fourth inning. On to the fifth in Brisbane. It's 5-2. You're watching Bandits.tv.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. Get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there, and you get to do the sign-off.
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
Bandits up 5-2 on the Canberra Cavalry as we head to the top of the fifth inning. This is Eric Bramer, and we're joined for the next inning by Lisa Nouri, who is the manager of the New Caledonia national team, the men's national team. And on the topic of no more tonight and establishing mutual respect between all parties involved, were there any boundaries to push through and establish your credibility as someone who knows baseball as a woman managing a men's team?
Eric, I thought going over there, not knowing anybody, them not knowing me, it'll be quite difficult, and trying to earn their respect. It was actually, I was fortunate, they were great. They took it on board that a female was coming in and managing them, and listened and took on board everything that I offered them. So was no issues, so to speak.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I don't know if that would have been the case even 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Quick strikeout of Podorski. That's the fifth strikeout for Bollinger, and out number one in the fifth. It'll also turn the lineup over for Cam Warner. Warner drew a walk his last time up, stole second and came home on the Tucker Nathans RBI double. There's a strike. What's the next frontier for women in professional baseball? We now have minor league coaches. We have national team managers. What's the next boundary that we need to clear in this sport? Here's a chopper. Picked up fair. Darville double clutches. Still has time to throw to first. Great play by the new Bandits third baseman. He knew exactly how much time he had, and he delivered an on-target throw to Sutherland for out number two.
I think the females that have been appointed on the minor league coaching staff, they do a great job, prove that they know what they're talking about and what they can do, and who knows, let's get them up into the major leagues.
Sounds good to me. Candelas 1 for 2 with a double in the first and a strikeout in the third. First pitch is up. I know that there are still some things to be sorted out with the women's ABL, but from what you know of that project, what will it look like when it comes to fruition?
So there'll be 4 teams. We'll start off with 4 teams, and still deciding on the length of the season and how many games, whether it be 1 or 2 games a weekend.
3-0 to Candelas with Tucker Nathans on deck.
We've got to make sure that we get it right when we start it. You don't want to not get it right and then it go bad. So Baseball Australia and franchises that will have a female team on board want to make sure that they get it right.
4-pitch walk to Candalis. Here's Tucker Nathans, who hit an RBI double his last time up. If you don't know the answer to this or can't tell me the answer to this, that's fine. But in terms of the season, do you think it'll be within the same season of the men's ABL, or do you think they will play it during the off season, as it were? How do you think that'll look?
That's what's in discussion at the moment. So there's some people that want to play it in the men's season, some want to play it outside. So, that's a decision, I believe, that still has to be made.
Where does softball fit into this picture? Because as an American, I was grown up and conditioned that men play baseball, women play softball. That's part of the NCAA collegiate model, and I know that's less prevalent over here, but where does softball fit into the plan to make baseball a bigger deal among women here in Australia?
With softball now back in the Olympics, all the softballers are really concentrating on working hard to try and make the Aussie team to make the Olympics. So we could get some players, the fringe in the Aussie team, that will come over. We do have players that play both at the moment too. So, if they're not going to make the Australian team for softball, then they're going to try and make the ABL or the Australian team for baseball.
Besides pitching, the skills are quite similar. If you can hit a round ball with a round bat.
Smaller diamond.
Bigger ball.
Bigger ball, different angle of the pitch. No, it's good for women's softball that's back in the Olympics, and it's also good for us because people that miss out on the Olympics, and they do come and play baseball as well. So
more for everybody.
That's it.
Bollinger can qualify for a win if he can get through the 5th inning with a lead. Just off the corner, 2-1. New Caledonia is French. Do they speak French over there?
Yes.
So do they understand your English, or do you have to learn some French to get by?
Some of them understand my English. I've got a few of the senior players over there that speak fluent English, and they'll translate. And also my assistant coach speaks English, so he translates everything.
We saw Graham Lloyd, the Australian baseball legend, managing the Geelong Korea squad, and he does not know much Korean, but he has some coaches to help him out, and by virtue of his professional success, he gives that team credibility, and I figure that that's also in play with you as a former coach from a championship-winning squad in the ABL.
Yeah, look, and that's what it's all about. It's what you learn, and along the way with all the coaches you're amongst, and you pass all that on, all the knowledge on. So.
Easy to fly in and out of New Caledonia?
It is, actually. It's only a 2-hour flight if you fly direct. So I usually fly out on a Friday, and that takes me direct. Come back on a Monday, you've got to go via either Sydney or Melbourne. You come back on a Tuesday, you come directly to Brisbane. So it's surprising. Everyone's like, oh, where's New Caledonia? It's like, it's a 2-hour flight.
Just a little bit north and well east of Brisbane, but it is the largest outlying island beyond Australia's borders.
Yeah. It's a beautiful place.
Called strike 3. That ends the 5th inning. Bollinger has turned in his best start of the year, and the Bandits lead it 5-2 at the halfway point of this game. We'll be back with more from Lisa after this on Bandits.tv.
The Brett Sports seated ball organizer fits 5 dozen baseballs. Polyester construction means it is durable and its functional pockets allow for flexibility in storage. An adjustable strap and soft cushion seat means that this organizer is essential for use at training.
5-2 Bandits on top of the Cavs as we head to the home half of the 5th inning at One Hub Stadium in Brisbane. 2-3 and 4 up for Brisbane. They have led the whole game with 3 runs in the first and 2 more in the third in support of a strong start from Ryan Bollinger. We're joined for the next half inning by Lisa Nouri as we continue our conversation with the former Bandits coach and current manager of the men's national team in New Caledonia. Logan Wade is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles and a pair of runs scored so far tonight. J.J. Hoover has had 2 bad innings and 2 good ones. He hopes to have another good one in the 5th. First pitch to Wade is down in the dirt for a ball. Hoover has thrown 75 pitches through 4 innings, 43 of them for strikes. We did see some action in the Bandits bullpen in the 5th inning, but given that Bollinger was able to get through the 5th, that relief arm has sat down 2-0. New Caledonia, as we established, is a French-speaking nation, and you do not speak French. But
No.
as they say, regardless of the language barrier, whether it's English to Spanish, English to Dutch, Spanish to whatever, baseball is a universal language.
That's right. It's a baseball language we speak, so I'm right. You know, you pick up a little bit here and there, but as I said, I have some great senior players over there and a great assistant coach that all speak English fluently to help me out.
Tonight's starter for the Bandits, Ryan Bollinger, played in the CPBL in Taiwan this past year. As Wade draws a leadoff walk, that'll bring in Martinez, who had an RBI double off the center field wall his last time up. And Ryan is not the first, nor will he be the last, to go to Taiwan and get paid to play baseball without really ever having any prior knowledge of the culture or the language.
Yep.
But once you get past the humps of learning how to live in that new country, it can be a very rewarding experience to see a new culture.
Oh, correct. And you know, that's the beautiful thing of this game. It takes you to everywhere around the world and different cultures and different countries, obviously. So, you know, and you're making lifelong friends.
Wade runs well. He has a healthy lead at first. The 1-0 pitch is a strike to even up the count. Lifted in the air to right, long run over towards the line for Suter, but he's there and he makes the catch, out number 1. That'll bring in Wes Darville, who has driven in 4 of his team's 5 runs tonight, a 3-run homer in the first, and a well-executed RBI groundout in the third. Darville plays on the Canadian national team and came over to the Bandits for round 6 against Melbourne. Have to like what we've seen from the infielder. He's playing third base tonight. We've seen him at second base. His true position is probably shortstop. David Nielsen has had an embarrassment of riches these last few years with a bunch of talented players. His job, find a way to keep them all happy and keep them all on the field in places where they can produce. Darville lifts down the left field line. Long run over for Perkins, and it's into the Canberra bullpen. Bandits hope to bring those 2 guys up with men on base, Mitch Nielsen and Wade Dutton. Darville takes down, and the count is 1-2. Wade takes his lead at first. The pitch. Darville chops foul. Those are close dugouts. I know you were down there the last couple years, Lisa. That can be pretty scary, even if you've got a net in front of you.
Yeah, they're very close. I was fortunate enough to be short enough to below that net.
You talked about how the Bandits went through some adversity on and off the field last year. Wade takes off. The pitch is in the dirt. Strong throw down to second, and Wade is out. Got a great jump, but it was an even better throw from Perkins, who picked up the pitch out of the dirt and in one swift motion delivered a strike to second base. 2 down. Talking about the Bandits' adversity last year, and we won't get too deep into that, but the Cavalry have dealt with some off-the-field adversity with the bushfires, forcing the cancellation of their games last round. When you make it through that, how does a team come together?
Oh, I think they come together even stronger. You know, the battles that they have off the field, they get through that together. You know, they come out the other side stronger than what they were beforehand. So, and that's exactly what happened with the Bandits last year. We had so many things, as I said, good and bad off the field, and you know, we pulled together, had everyone had each other's back, and come out stronger at the end. And these guys will do the same. It's pretty bad all around the country now, though, isn't it?
That it is, and yeah, we don't want to speak about the bushfires in the past tense because the struggles continue to put out those fires and retain a sense of normalcy throughout the country. A reminder that Saturday is Bushfire Appeal Day here at One Hub Stadium. $1 from every beer sold will go towards fundraising efforts, and $100 for every Bandits home run. So if you want to come out and do your part and also take in a couple exciting baseball games, that'll be this Saturday with the doubleheader starting at 2:30, the night game at 6. And if you're watching and you will be unable to attend in person, of course there are many other ways that you can do your part and help. A nice at bat by Darville as he worked back from down 0-2 to draw a 2-out walk. That'll bring in Mitch Nielsen, who's 0 for 2 with a pop out to the pitcher and a strikeout. Without the Wade caught stealing, the Bandits would have a nice little rally here, but instead, just a man at first with 2 down instead of first and second with 1 down. First pitch is in, ball 1. Hoover's pitch count now in the mid-90s. This may be his final inning. Fouled off. Those Outlaws, they're always making noise. That's a little local flavor here in Brisbane, and I'm sure some of the visiting teams don't appreciate it, but it certainly gives the Bandits a home field advantage when they've got that support throughout the entire game.
Yeah, it certainly does. The boys, Outlaws, are very passionate for the Bandits and very supportive, which is great for us.
Darville can run, but after seeing Wade thrown out on a pitch in the dirt, I have to think he'll be staying put here to give Nielsen a chance at the plate. Hitters count, the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Like Nielsen was expecting something other than the fastball, and he was late on a pitch that he can usually hit pretty hard. Fouled off. Perkins can't hang on. Sam Holland is up in the Bandits' pen, but not throwing. We don't know if that means that he's fully warm or if Bollinger will get a chance to start the 6th inning. This is a righty-heavy Cavalry lineup. The only lefty is Tucker Nathans, and he made the final out of the 5th. 3-2 now to Nielsen. with Wade Dutton waiting on deck. With 2 down, Darville will leave as soon as he's sure the pitch is coming home. Darville goes, the pitch, chopped foul. This year we've got Little Gons, Max Gonzalez, spinning the music, spinning the tracks.
Yeah, he does a great job.
Had some big shoes to fill, but he has indeed done a good job. So much of the baseball experience is the atmosphere that you create, and the Bandits do a better job than most in this league, in my opinion. Called strike 3. Nielsen down on strikes for the second straight at bat, and that ends the 5th inning. It also ends our time with Lisa Nouri. Thank you so much for coming up here and spending a couple innings with us. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you.
I will wish you luck as you try and learn some French as well.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you, and again, thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
We'll be back on Bandits.tv.
Taking off overseas this year? You wouldn't believe who you may run into at the airport. The Brisbane Bandits have partnered with award-winning China Airlines to be our gateway to the world. China Airlines operate the brand new Airbus A350 out of Brisbane, so you can be assured of a safe, comfortable and relaxed flight to wherever you may be headed. With daily flights from Brisbane to Auckland and return, you may just bump into a few of our champions lending a hand on board. And we'll be doing our best to live up to China Airlines 5-star services. So wherever you're heading overseas on China Airlines, keep an eye out for the Brisbane Bandits. You just never know who you might see.
In the last 4 years, we have put up some numbers. Led the league in hits, RBIs, stolen bases, slugging, home runs, batting average, ERA, single season saves record. We've had 2 home run champions, 2 league MVPs, 4 ABL championships. But none of this would have been possible without Brett Sports, the official equipment partner of the Brisbane Bandits.
Bandits lead 5-2 over the Canberra Cavalry as we head to the top of the 6th inning in the round 8 opener at One Hub Stadium. The Bandits will go to the bullpen with Sam Holland taking over for Ryan Bollinger. Bollinger is in line for his first win of the year. He went 5 innings, allowing 2 runs on 5 hits. He struck out 6 batters. He walked only 2, and overall, he just looked a little bit sharper tonight as we welcome back Paul Gonzalez.
Yeah, man, he threw the ball well, and that's exactly what David needed. Is he needed a quality start out of his number 1. Offense did their job as putting up a 5 spot, and Bandits lead this ball game 5-2.
Sam Holland will face Zach Wilson. First pitch is ripped to center field, hit right at Caldwell, who makes the catch for a quick first out. Bollinger threw only 82 pitches, and that's not him at his full stretched out length, but whether or not he will be a part of the Bandits' potential playoff plans remains to be seen. They just want to make sure that he can end this start on a high note rather than potentially overextending him and ending the night on a sour note.
Yeah, anytime, and that's what David is so good at. He's always good at putting guys in situations for success, and now he's looking at the situation where, you know, Canberra need to see a different look, and Sammy Holland gives you that completely different look.
Suter homered off of Bollinger. That was back in the 2nd. And then in the 4th, he popped out to 2nd. Next pitch is down and in, 2-0.
I tell you what, when you look at the makeup of this ball club from Canberra, they're very solid. You know, we know they're 297, but 1 through 9, there's not a lot of weakness in this lineup, and every one of them has the ability to drive the ball to the ballpark.
Fouled over the Bandits' dugout. Holland readies. 2-1 is chopped to third. Darville throws on the run. Boy, does he look slick out there at third base.
Yeah, he looks good. And I tell you what, I like the makeup of this Bandits infield. You know, you've got a lot of range in the infield. Now you've all of a sudden you've moved your second baseman, who's actually a shortstop, to third. So now your left side of the infield is pretty solidified, and you're very, very strong on the right side with Sutherland as well. So, look, the makeup looks outstanding, and I like what David's done with the lineup today as well.
Robbie Perkins has 2 of his team's 5 hits. Pair of singles his first 2 trips, and he takes a strike. Chopped foul. Perkins slow out of the box. Thought it was going to stay foul, and it indeed did, but it was a little close for comfort.
And I like what Sammy's doing right now on the mound. He's not overthrowing, and when he throws within himself, he has so much more movement on his pitch. You kind of call him the Nintendo guy. He doesn't throw anything straight. Everything's like Nintendo. It's hard in on the righties, or hard away from the lefties, or when he throws a slider, it's away. So everything is going in 2 different directions. And tonight it seems he's found that perfect arm slot and in his rhythm with his release as well.
Holland entered the outing with an ERA of 4.85, but that doesn't tell the full story as to how good he's been since a really awful start to his year against Adelaide.
Yeah, he's been probably David's main guy as far as going to for long relief. He's a guy that can gives you innings, good pitch, good location there.
And a 1-2-3 6th inning is punctuated with a strikeout looking. Sam Holland comes on, has a fun time of things, and we roll along in Brisbane. 5-2 Bandits on Bandits.tv.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?
It's been a good night so far for the Brisbane Bandits, leading 5-2 over the Canberra Cavalry as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. With Paul Gonzalez, this is Eric Bramer. Thanks for making us a part of your evening. The Bandits got a 3-run homer from Wes Darville in the first, an RBI double from Jeremy Martinez in the third, and a Darville ground out a batter later. That has accounted for all the scoring against J.J. Hoover. Hoover, the former MLB pitcher, has a pitch count of 102 with 58 strikes through 5 innings. But he's still back out there on the mound, set to face 6, 7, and 8 in the Bandits order: Dutton, Lutz, and Kay. This is perhaps the difference between Game 1 of a series and Game 4 of a series. In Game 1, you don't want to use your bullpen unnecessarily, so they're going to ride Hoover as long as they can.
Well, I tell you what, he's actually still sharp. If you look at his overall command, his pitches are solid, and we know this. A 3-run lead in this ballpark is not a big threat. So Canberra know they can keep him in a ball game, and if their offense can swing the bats to their ability, they can still make a game of this.
Dutton has struck out looking twice. Make sure that doesn't happen a third time on 0-2. A line drive single up the middle to begin the 6th inning. And that'll bring in Donald Lutz. Lutz struck out and then flied to right his first 2 times up. Lutz has homered 4 times. That ties him for the team lead. Looking elsewhere around the league, Melbourne is leading GK in Geelong by a score of 5-2. That game is at the end of 6. In Sydney, scoreless between the Blue Sox and the Auckland Tuatara in the 4th inning.
And that's a good matchup. You know, that's that Sydney Tuatara, because obviously the Bandits' next home series will be against Sydney. So they're playing the number 1 team in the division. See if they can continue to play to their abilities.
Missing outside 1-1. Of course, the Bandits could think super aggressively and try and get in the top 3 teams record-wise in the league, get out of that wild card game. But I think more realistically at this point is to find the 4th or the 5th seed and make it in the playoffs as a wild card team. That would narrow your potential postseason down to 1 game. But if the Bandits can throw Tim Atherton out there, I think they'll take their chances against whoever they end up facing. That's not the end of the world. The important thing is you get in the playoffs, and right now the team holding the 5th spot is on the opposing dugout right now.
Yeah, and that's what I said. This is a good series for the Bandits. It's going to test their will, per se, as far as how bad do they want it.
Chopper left side with the interesting infield defense. It's the third baseman Warner sliding over and making an on-target throw to first to just barely nip Lutz for the first out.
Well, and that actually works to the Bandits' advantage. We get a chance to see the replay. So he shot the ball to the third baseman who makes the play in short, but makes the decision to go across the diamond for the long out.
Wilson, the first baseman, almost left the bag to catch the throw.
But what it does, it puts Dutton now at second with 1 out. So once again, the Bandits have a threat and an opportunity to score a run.
Grant Kay with another chance to collect his first ABL hit. Challenged with a high fastball, he fouls it straight back. Right now, the 3 non-playoff teams in the league are Geelong Korea, well out of the pennant race, and Brisbane and Sydney. Bandits will have a chance to face their accusers or face their challengers to the throne as the defending champions these next 2 weeks. If you take 3 out of 4 from Canberra, you leapfrog them in the standings, and you also even up the season series. Lifted in the air to right center field. Suter is there, and he has it. Dutton will bluff a tag, but wisely stay put as Suter uncorks a strong throw all the way to third base on the fly.
I tell you what, a very strong arm by Suter in right, and he really didn't even get behind the baseball. Normally you'll see a guy get behind the baseball and create momentum. Threw it from a standstill and threw it all the way on the fly to third, so very strong arm in right. And that actually comes in play because with Sutherland up at the plate, if he drives something to right field, he's got a chance. It looks like Ward's going to make a change here.
Lefty Sutherland is due, and Hoover talks it over with Ward. His manager has not asked for the ball yet. Keith Ward, a respected man in Australian baseball, has made the Cavalry into a perennial contender. And they will leave Hoover in the game to face Sutherland. First base is open, but then you turn the lineup over and Tim Colwell, one of the hottest hitters, would be due up next. Hoover looks in. The pitch. Jumped foul. Now looking at your hoped-for remainder of the regular season, the Bandits hope to win this series. They hope to win the next series on the road. Auckland has won 11 straight games at home, so that's going to be a tough nut to crack. But if you can split that, that should get you, hopefully, in the playoffs. A lot can happen between now and then. The Bandits won their final 7 games in the regular season last year, but you just don't know what exactly that magic number is going to be.
Yeah, but look, I think, and this is from not the Bandits' perspective, my perspective, when you've won 4 in a row, I don't think they're looking just to make playoffs. They'd be looking to win another championship. So the reality is they need to win that game against Auckland if they see themselves as a 5th reigning champion as far as for the Claxton Shield. So I don't think they're playing for second. They're not just looking at playoffs.
Oh, of course not. But regular season standings don't matter all that much. All you need is a ticket
to the dance.
And
then let them do their thing. But, like I said, that's what makes the back end of the ABL so much fun. Everyone numerically is still in it.
Inside 1 and 2 to Sutherland. And their rosters are in flux at the end of the season as well. That's not a good thing, but it is a fact of life in this league that American players are heading home, Asian players are going back up north, and the roster composition can look very different in round 10 in the postseason than it did in round 1.
Absolutely. And look, for some of the import guys that are...
Sutherland rips it to right center field, long run over, and it splits the gap. It'll bring home Dutton. The Bandits get another run on an RBI double from David Sutherland. 2 strikes, 2 outs, no problem. Sutherland hits the ball hard again and has his second hit of the night.
I'll tell you what, that's one thing that the Bandits do need. They needed the 2-out RBIs and your veteran presence, and we talked about it earlier in the game. You said to have his presence, a veteran guy like Sutherland who's so dynamic in his role, come up with a big 2-out RBI. That's another big run for the Bandits, and that'll probably be it for Hoover, and that makes it now 6-2.
5 2/3 strong for Hoover, but he leaves with his team trailing 6-2. We'll be back after this pitching change on Bandits.tv.
Careful, out there, champ.
How good is this?
Bandits up 6-2 in the 6th. And the RBI double from David Sutherland bounces the starter J.J. Hoover from the game. Hoover went 5 2/3 innings, allowing 6 runs, 5 earned on 7 hits. He walked 3, struck out 6. He is responsible for Sutherland at second base, and he gives way to Takamasa Kasai on loan from the Yokohama DNA Bay Stars, one of a couple Japanese players coming to the Cavalry this season. Kasai will be tasked with getting Tim Colwell and ending this 6th inning. On the year, 0-2. He has a 4.09 ERA. This will be his 11th outing, all of them coming in relief. He has struck out 19 batters in 11 innings, so you know he can get swings and misses. All he needs here is to get an out. Hoover threw a pretty incredible, in this day and age, 117 pitches, 70 for strikes. Colwell's 0 for 3, though he reached on an error in the 3rd and came around to score. Kasai, 25 years old. First pitch is a strike. Skipping to the backstop. That will allow Sutherland to take another 90 feet. He's at third base.
And that actually works out really big. Sutherland's not a plus runner. He's a good runner, not a plus runner by any means. But that puts a little bit more pressure now on the defense. Base hit clearly scores him, but with Caldwell's speed, if he hits anything on the ground, it puts a lot more pressure on the defense to throw him out.
This past year with the DNA Yokohama Bay Stars, Kasai had a 4.03 ERA. Swing and a miss. The count is 1-2.
That was nasty right there. Looked like he threw that split finger, which in Japan, that's one of their primary secondary pitches in Japan. So normally fastball, breaking ball, splitty. It looked like he threw him a good splitty right there. So see if I can see if Perkins is.
Low and away, 2-2.
Good pitch right there, just really good late downward action. And Caldwell's such a good disciplined hitter. He uses the whole field. He stays within himself, so he's able to lay off the tough pitch.
Bandits have a lefty warming in the pen. Ken Frosch is no longer the only southpaw out there. Looks like that's Rick Teasley just going through the motions. Caldwell with a roller to short. Bobbled by Melian, and that will bring home another run. You put the ball in play, you never know what will happen, and Caldwell's speed perhaps forced Melian to make that play a little bit quicker than he was able.
And that's why I mentioned on that play, particularly with 2 outs, Goofy's not a plus runner, but that pass ball allows him to advance. A routine ground ball that's mishandled right there all of a sudden puts pressure on the defense, and all of a sudden the Bandits now lead 7-2.
That'll be an unearned run for Hoover. Not that it's any consolation for him. So 7 runs, 5 earned for the righty. His day is now set in stone in the record book. Here's Logan Wade. He's reached base all 3 times, a pair of singles, a walk, and 2 runs scored. First pitch is inside. Well, 2 more runs now for the Bandits. They lead it by 5. Everyone has a role to play in this Bandits bullpen, but if you can save your high leverage late inning guys here on Thursday, save them for Friday or even Saturday, that sets you up for success. Brisbane would love to keep the Cavs at arm's length for the rest of the night. Time requested at first base as Caldwell is having some trouble with the shoelaces on his right foot. Let's take a look there. You do the loop-de-loop and pull, and your shoes are looking cool. All right, here we go. Maybe Caldwell tied his shoes because he's going to take off here. He stays put. The pitch is up and away, 3-0.
So a lot of times with speedy runners, particularly with hitters, they'll hold their position to keep that hole open. So you've got your first baseman holding your runner on. Now if he falls into maybe a breaking ball count, he may advance to try to put himself in scoring position.
Does Wade get the green light on 3-0? Kasai delivers. It's a strike, but a good pitch in a spot where Wade wasn't going to go after it.
I may put the green light on 3-1. Obviously, in this situation, get him moving. A ball hitting the gap scores him, and it also puts pressure on the defense. You get moving parts.
Five-pitch walk. Wade's aboard. Caldwell gets pushed to second, and now Jeremy Martinez. Martinez is 1 for 2, a walk and a run scored in the first, and an RBI double off the center field wall in the third. First pitch is well in front of the plate. Both runners go halfway, the throwback to first. And Wade gets in safely. Hopefully his hands avoided the cleats of Wilson. If Perkins doesn't block that as well as he does, it's 2 more free bases for the Bandits. Instead, the runners stay put, and it's just a 1-0 count. Kasai pitch. Just inside, maybe a bit low, 2-0. Big fly here would really put this game on ice, at least for the time being. Might also change the Bandits' bullpen plans for the remainder of the night. Martinez with a comebacker to the mound. Kasai fields, runs it halfway, and flips it the remaining 30 feet. And that does it for the Bandits in the 6th inning. But it's a good frame. They add 2 more and go to the 7th with a 7-2 lead.
Hello, Charlie King here from the No More campaign. The campaign asks all Australians to say no more to family violence. The high and unacceptable levels of family violence in Australia are a national shame for all of us, but we can do something about it. We can link arms to symbolically show national unity. We can speak out against family violence, and we can encourage each other to be more respectful in our relationships. The Australian Baseball League joins the call for no more family violence. With teams linking arms across Australia, we are proud of their commitment. Together, we can make a difference.
Bandits have a 5-run lead as we head to the top of the 7th inning at One Hub Stadium in Brisbane. Sam Holland delivered a 1-2-3-6, then he's back out there for the 7th, facing the Cavalry. We've talked about it a couple times tonight. Another reminder that tonight all players are wearing orange armbands as part of the No More campaign. You just saw a public service announcement on the commercial break. If you want to know how to help, besides individual actions, you can establish your own domestic violence action plan or host a No More Violence Day or fundraiser. Go to nomore.org.au to see the template or contact No More directly for support. And if anytime you are in immediate danger, call 000. If you're seeking general help and support, there are a range of services available to you, including 100-RESPECT. 24-hour support line is 1-800-737-732. Other services include Men's Line, mensline.org.au, Kids Helpline, kidshelp.com.au, and the Men's Referral Service, mrs.org.au.
I think the biggest message they do convey is the awareness, is not being afraid to make that call or reach out. Baseball Queensland is actually looking at some strategic initiatives. We're looking at engaging with a company called Child Safe. Same thing, just creating a better environment for our athletes and putting safe provisions in place and awareness.
And taking collective responsibility. If it happens anywhere, it's on us to rectify that problem and
I think that's
better.
That's the hardest thing. People see it, but they're afraid to engage because they don't want to seem to be. But I think sometimes just engaging to a certain degree, I know there's a risk component, but it's a very, very difficult situation for anybody.
Fouled at the plate, 1-2 to Kyle Perkins. It'll be the bottom third of the Cavalry order: Perkins, Melian, and Podorski. Lifted in the air to left. Long run over for Dutton. In fair territory, he stays with it and makes the catch.
A good job by Dutton right there. He came a long ways, and it's a real tricky area in that space. You've got 2 different variations of lights. The primary lights in the infield, they're 20 meters high. The outfield lights sit about 15 meters high. So you've that variation gives you, and then you've got a lux level about 750 in the infield, and your outfield's about 550. So that change sometimes can actually change the ball perception. So that's a good play by Dutton.
Melian is 0 for 2 in his first game of the year.
I was actually looking at Melian's bat. If we can see if we can focus on it, I don't know how close we can get to it, but it almost looks like it's come straight out of a lathe. It has several different line markings all through, from the top of the bat handle all the way to the top of the barrel. So
see that as well, yeah.
So I've been fortunate enough where I've spun a few bats out of a lathe just with different materials just to see what it does, and it almost looks like something that's been spun out of a different type of substrate.
Chop to third, in between hop, handled expertly by Darville. Another on-target throw. Don't mean to harp on it, but might as well. He's been impressive at third base.
I was going to say the same thing. It's been a game changer, because what it's done is it's solidified the left side of the defense. And you got to go like Sammy. He's going to generate a lot of ground balls. This is why his ball action. So being able to increase your range on the left side of the infield has really reduced the pitch count tonight.
Now Robbie Podorski. Have you ever been to the Louisville Slugger Bat Factory in Louisville, Kentucky?
No, I haven't, and I've had a lot of friends that were playing. And they did, and they said it's amazing.
Chop to third, another chance for Darville. Another 1-2-3 inning for Sam Holland. 6 up, 6 down in relief, and it's stretch time in Brisbane. Bandits up by 5.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck to move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. You get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there, and you get to do the sign-off.
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
Bandits lead at 7-2 over the Canberra Cavalry as we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning in the Round 8 opener at One Hub Stadium. With Australian silver medalist Paul Gonzalez, I'm Eric Bramer. Thanks for joining us tonight. Crowd is filled in pretty nicely. Some empty seats, but all the corporate areas are full, and for a Thursday night Gons, it's a pretty good crowd. They've had a lot to cheer for as well.
No, it's a great crowd. I mean, and obviously we're head-to-head against the almighty Brisbane Heat down the road as well, but a good turnout. And spoke to Miranda today. They said they expect big crowds tomorrow and Saturday, so another 2 big nights. So once again, thanks to all the Bandits fans for coming out and supporting the Bandits.
If you plan on coming out tomorrow or Saturday, get your tickets online in advance. That's the best way to do it. First pitch is a strike to West Darville. Darville set the tone in the first inning with a 3-run homer. Since then, an RBI ground out and a walk. Darville, Nielsen, and Dutton will bat against Takamasa Kasai. He got the final out of the 6th inning, not without incident. And we'll start the 7th. Chopped foul. And we will say again that Saturday's doubleheader will see the Bandits do their part in support of the fire relief throughout Australia. Missing low 2-2. $1 from every beer sold on Saturday here at One Hub Stadium will go towards the bushfire appeal, and $100 will be donated by the Bandits for every home run that the Bandits hit. Chop towards second. Nathan's fields and throws, just getting Darville. Darville hustling out of the box, almost beat out an infield single.
Yeah, good play by second baseman. Came around and good feed against the hustling Darville to get down the line. That's a big first out right there. That's once again, it's about stopping the threat and stopping the runs. It's still 7-2. We do know that this offense has the ability to generate big offense and big offensive numbers. So the Bandits have to continue to put pressure on the Cavalry.
Here's Mitch Nielsen. Swing and a miss. It's been encouraging to see different members of the baseball community doing what they can, getting creative. Former Bandits pitcher Liam O'Sullivan, who's now with the Melbourne Aces, he designed a T-shirt and got a bunch of folks to buy it. It's a cool design of a koala holding onto a baseball bat. Ordered one for myself, and all the proceeds are going to his fire prevention cause of choice. Fouled back. And of course, you never want something terrible to happen, but it is encouraging to see other people lifting each other up.
No, it is, and it shows the positive sides of humanity in as a whole. And like I said, no matter what the circumstances, we should all encourage, the best outcomes for all people, And like I said, sport's no different. We use sport as a communication vehicle. We use music, and you look at the actors, and they use their influences, but every person can be an influencer.
A walk to Nielsen. He's been patient at the plate. He went down looking on full counts in the third and the fifth, but this time he draws a walk. And now Wade Dutton will bat. Well, you grew up on Mr. Rogers. I did too, to some extent. I don't know if he was as big of a deal.
No, he was big.
Won't
you be my neighbor?
Yeah. Well, he's been canonized in a couple movies recently, but an American children's television host, and when talking about tragedy, his advice was always look to the helpers. When you see something that seems hopeless, see the people that are putting themselves in danger or sacrificing themselves to any extent in the service of helping others, and that's good advice in any type of tragedy.
And it's not hard to. We have too many individuals out there that have agendas per se, and just look at the agenda of helping others and being positive influencer, not a negative influencer. And I think if people can convey that message, we'd have a very healthy society.
Dutton led off the sixth inning with a single and came home on David Sutherland's RBI double. Swing and a miss. Dutton chased, and he's a strikeout victim for out number 2. Justin Erasmus is now getting loose in the Bandits bullpen.
And it looks like David's going with that, and he did a really good job of that in the Premier 12, where he gave variations of looks with different arms and didn't let anybody really lock in on one arm slot or one level of velocity. And hitters will do that. Usually second time around the orders when they make their adjustments if they don't capitalize the first at bat.
Donald Lutz is 0 for 3. First pitch is a strike. Kasai has allowed 3 base runners, but no hits. Pair of walks and the infield error from his shortstop Melion behind him. Soft liner, shallow left. That'll drop for a base hit. Nielsen checks into second, and the Bandits have a 2-out rally. That'll bring in Grant Kay. I'll bet you that Grant Kay, during his time playing collegiate ball at Louisville, stopped by the Louisville Slugger factory.
Once or 100 times. It'd be like going into a lolly shop as a young kid, And look, there's so many different brands. I mean, previously there was only Louisville, and you had Rawlings were the 2 primary bats. Now there's Carolina Club, there was Sam Bat. There's been the evolution of the bats globally now, and you've seen a complete different approach to hitting and how far the balls go now. But
I do see the LS on Grant's bat, so he's swinging his
home brand.
His home brand.
But it's a maple now, whereas before it was a white ash.
They've improved the quality of maple bats as well.
It's funny, and people ask the question, what's the difference? And really, the Asher was great about them. If you had a good one, and only the good hitters got the really good ones, they would actually start to groove themselves, and you'd have to, what they call, bone the bat. So Pete Rose used to use a big, I think it was the femur of a cow, and to harden the barrel of the bat. But now these maple bats don't have any grains with them, so they actually never flake as far as the barrel. But when they do blow up, they explode compared to the ash.
But I think we've even seen less of that in the last decade. When maple bats first arrived on the scene,
they were weapons.
They were, but they've found a harder grain and less cleaving on the wood to prevent breakage.
It was funny. It was Martinez was talking about he broke one of his bats in Perth, and he said that was the first bat he's broken all year. And he was talking to some of the other guys in the cage, saying that one year he went like, and I'll have to go back and quote him, it was like 3 or 4 months with the same bat. So he's so good with his hands, and obviously we talked about he used a 32.5-inch bat, just has such good bat control. He doesn't find himself getting out in front or getting jammed. He can use his hands well.
Well, I was around the batting cage about an hour before you were, and he was telling the same story. So that must have been a notable event in his season that he was he broke his bat.
Anytime as a hitter you have a favorite bat. When someone does finally break it, it depends on how long you've had it. And obviously, he had it for the full season, so that when you have your go-to bat, you think, well, I'm going to make the whole year. So obviously, for him, it was a big deal because he doesn't break as many bats as the average guy.
Runners go. Payoff pitch is a called strike 3, and that ends the 7th inning. Bandits leave a pair, but they still lead by 5 as we head to the 8th. You're watching Bandits.tv.
Brett Sports seated ball organizer fits 5 dozen baseballs. Polyester construction means it is durable and its functional pockets allow for flexibility in storage. An adjustable strap and soft cushioned seat means that this organizer is essential for use at training.
Bandits go deeper into their bullpen as we head to the top of the 8th inning. It's a 7-2 lead for Rick Teasley to protect after 2 clean and tidy innings from Sam Holland. Holland went 2 innings, no base runners, 1 strikeout, and only 18 pitches thrown. And now Teasley, who was pretty much perfect in long relief in a game that was out of hand last weekend in Perth, he'll come on here and probably not have as long of a distance to go, but he'll consolidate his efforts and get some outs with the Bandits only 6 outs away from victory.
I'm going to say something, and I don't know if it actually play a factor, and I didn't watch it with Sammy or with Bollinger. He's got his bright orange band on his left arm, which is his throwing arm. I wonder if actually that'll play as a distraction, and they'll ask him to swap it to his non-throwing arm. So it hasn't become a factor, but I just don't know if it actually becomes a deterrent potentially.
Warner quickly retired. Yeah, that's a league effort, the No More initiative, and both teams are doing it, but the Cavalry are wearing orange jerseys, so it's not as much of a contrast.
Correct. But I'm just watching his arm action and how prominent his band is, but it's also on his throwing arm, so it's almost like a wristband
Now we'll leave that for the league to decide, but they're just following instructions.
Yeah, and look, the reality is it only becomes a problem if the coaches or the team complains about it and ask him to swap it over.
And I believe the rest of the league is doing it on Sunday. We're not playing on Sunday, so we're, I guess, the guinea pigs for the orange armband thing. I wonder.
We're the pilots.
We're the pilots. We're the canaries in the coal mine. I'll be curious to see on Sunday, the other games around the league, if they ask the pitchers to switch it to their non-throwing hand.
Yep. No, I agree with you. Teasley threw the ball extremely well in Perth, and a rough start for Atherton, which is very, very uncharacteristic and uncommon. We've never seen that, to be honest with you. But Teasley came in and really shut the offense down, which was swinging a hot bat. So perfect timing. That's what David needs. He needs his gun arms to start to shut down tough offenses.
Well, on the year, Teasley has an ERA of 2.51, and besides one walk, he had 5 1/3 no-hit innings in relief against Perth.
Been lights out.
Let's take a look at the scoreboard around the league. Melbourne up big on Geelong Korea. That's an 8-2 score now. And a free pass to Candalis will bring in Tucker Nathans. That game is in the 8th in Geelong. In Sydney, the Auckland Tuatara have drawn first blood. That's a 1-0 Auckland lead over the Blue Sox in the 6th inning. And if you think the Tuatara are within reach for the Bandits, there are 4 games separating them, then you're cheering for the Blue Sox. But if you want the Bandits to have a clearer path to just get in the playoffs, you probably want the Tuatara to win that series.
Yeah, and like I said, they've credit to them. They came in as an inaugural team last year, and the transition they've made for year 2 has been tremendous. So
all that while one of their expected on-field contributors, Ryan Costello, died unexpectedly and tragically in his sleep just weeks before the season started.
Yeah, and speaking to Mincy, it had a massive emotional impact on that ball club, as it would. But it seems like it's really, these men and coaches have really unified as a collective group, and they're playing really good baseball. After a really tough situation.
1-1. Well, Lisa Nouri was up here for a couple innings, and we talked about how last year the Bandits encountered some off-the-field trauma and tragedy, and while you never want to suggest that suffering is necessary for success, the Bandits came through on the other side and were a better, more tightly knit team because of what they got through.
Yeah, look, and that's a credit to the leadership within the organization. David does a brilliant job with his coaches, and obviously Mark Reedy, principal owner, as far as keeping these guys unified as a group, and really has developed a very good culture within the clubhouse.
Everyone in Australia knows someone or is someone themselves affected by the bushfires, but the Cavalry, perhaps more than others because of the postponement and eventual cancellation of their games, they have had to deal with some adversity, and they're going to try and restart their season. Right now they're holding on to that 5th playoff spot. Nathans drove in one of the 2 Cavalry runs. It was an RBI double with 2 down back in the 3rd. Payoff pitch upstairs. Back-to-back walks to Candalis and Nathans, the 2 and 3 hitters, and now the cleanup hitter, Zach Wilson, will have a chance. Even in hitter-friendly conditions like we have here in Brisbane, usually you don't let go of a big lead because the opposing team hits their way aboard. It's the walks and unearned base runners that tend to bite you, and here's a mound visit for Martinez trying to talk with Teasley. Man at second, they're going through their multiple sign system. Candle is staring down, trying to pick something up and relay it to the hitter. You'll see that from our center field camera angle. Candalis, just above the score bug, can look in between the legs of Martinez and try and pick up the sign and give some visual cue to the batter if he sees something. First pitch is fouled off. When you were playing, what was the typical, okay, this is a fastball, or this is a breaking ball? What were you doing on your body?
Yeah, look, we would lead with right foot on fastball and lead with left foot on secondaries with off speed. And that was, and if you had it, obviously you picked your jersey and that identified you had it, but you had to be inconspicuous because obviously you didn't want to get drilled. We played in an era where if guys caught you peeking, you wore in the spine. So, but look, it is still part of the game, and it's tremendously advantageous to the hitter when he can start sitting fastball or start sitting off speed if the runner on second can pick up the signs.
The sort of stuff that we are talking about is fair game. What is not fair game is using technology to assist in sign stealing. And just another update within the last couple days, it was discovered that the Boston Red Sox in their 2018 championship season were doing essentially what the Houston Astros were caught doing in 2017. Alex Cora was a coach of the 17 Astros. He was the manager of the 18 Red Sox and still is the manager in Boston. So that is a developing story in Major League Baseball. That
and you look at the common denominator. They find a loop per se, and is it advantageous? Absolutely. You've got a guy throwing 101 miles an hour like a Chapman, and you can sit.
Little pop-up, shallow right. Lutz fakes a catch, but didn't have a chance. Everyone advances 90 feet. Wilson has his first hit of the game, and the bases are loaded for Jarek Suter.
And that's where I talk about the threat of this ball club. So now all of a sudden you've got bases loaded and one out, and you do have your boppers coming to the plate. So that'll bring Jim Bennett out just to have a quiet word with Teasley, just to get him back down in the zone and make him aware of the situation. But, simple tricks. I mean, I used to play and had veteran guys on, if guys would set up on the inner half, would tell me to bear down. So come on, bear down, Gons. And in that situation, you start to maybe peek or cheat on the inner half. If they didn't tell you to bear down, you would look middle away, and then you'd look to drive something the other way or up the middle. So those little bitty tips can be advantageous, particularly at higher levels as you play, because guys' commands are a little bit better too.
Jarek Suter hit a home run to the opposite field back in the second. With the bases loaded and one down, he takes low for the first pitch. Ryan Searle is getting loose in the Bandits bullpen. ABL strikeout and saves king. Warming up, and as we can see, it's with some urgency.
I'll tell you what, a great camera angle there too. Get a chance to see the bullpen cam, and Searle is heating up quick, so he understands the situation. So he's not taking any chances, and he's trying to get as hot as he can, as quickly as he can.
Candelas at third, Nathan's at second, and Wilson at first. 3 straight have reached against Rick Teasley. Nothing has been hit hard. It was 2 walks and a bloop single. Here's a chopper to third, maybe a pair. Darville to Kay to Sutherland. Teasley escapes the bases-loaded jam with a twin killing. Around the horn, 5-4-3. And the Bandits preserve their 7-2 lead.
Great job, Chef.
Thanks.
Who wants a drink?
Let's go, Archer. Beers away.
Thank you, Archer.
Looks like these guys are working up a tropical thirst, Archer.
Thank you, Archer!
Beers to the beach.
Yeah!
Thank you, Archer!
They look thirsty down there in the outback, Archer.
We'll all be
Archer!
Yeah!
Good boy, Archer.
On to the bottom of the 8th inning at One Hub Stadium in Brisbane. Bandits leading the Cavs by a score of 7-2 in the round 8 opener. Bandits have a chance to win their 3rd straight game, something that they have not done since their round 2 sweep here at home against Geelong, Korea. Takamasa Kasai pitched well, got through an inning and a third for the Cavs, and now they go deeper into the bullpen. And they go with one of their 2 lefties. David Sutherland, left-handed hitter, is 2 for 3 tonight, and he will face the lefty James Mulry. Mulry has been brilliant this year, an ERA of 1.04. He's won 1 game and has not lost one. In only 8 2/3 innings, he's allowed 1 run on 4 hits. Sutherland takes low and away ball 1. Sutherland, Colwell, and Wade lefty-lefty switch for the Bandits, so this is a move that makes sense. Check swing. Sutherland held up. Chopped to first, off the chalk line and foul. Picked up by Wilson, but we've got a good angle on that, and Mal Mackay made the right play. Made the right call, that is. 2-1. Mulry appeared in 2 games against the Bandits in December, going an inning and 2/3 of hitless ball. 1 walk and 1 strikeout. Swing and a miss, 2-2. For Kasai, the final line reads an inning and a third, 1 hit, no runs, 2 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Two-two. Low and away, and the count runs full. Bandits will return to action tomorrow night. That's another 6 o'clock start. And then they'll have a doubleheader on Saturday at 2:30 and 6. Check swing, and a leadoff walk for David Sutherland. He's reached base 3 times tonight.
And that's a good at bat for David, and against a tough lefty. And that's what the Bandits need. They need him to be productive as he's capable of being down in the bottom of the order. He provides so much more depth for the lineup. And like I said, his versatility and his defense are plus defensively in supporting the Bandits, preventing runs.
Tim Caldwell is 0 for 4, but his speed has allowed himself to find his way on board twice on infield errors. First pitch is a ball.
Overall, I like just the overall production of the Bandits. You know, when you look at swinging the bat, putting pressure on Cavalry. They've got themselves out of tough jam. That last situation, bases loaded, 1 out, able to induce the ground ball, and a great conversion on the double play to stay out of that inning. But so Cavalry have had opportunities, and like I said, they will. They're a very strong offensive ball club, but Bandits have done a good job tonight of executing.
Hit hard, but foul. Headed for the Bandits bullpen, where, it should be noted, Ryan Searle is no longer throwing. Teasley was able to get out of that 8th inning without allowing any runs. If they can save Searle, they will do so, with 3 more games upcoming this weekend.
Yeah, and that's particularly with that Saturday, that doubleheader coming into play. You know, they'll need all the bullets they can out of Searle in that bullpen.
2-2. Mulry sets. And the pitch. Straight to the backstop. And Sutherland is able to jog down to second.
Once again, that came into play for the Bandits with Sutherland at second base. He got pass ball in the dirt with 2 outs, allowed him to advance, and Cole hit a ground ball to short that was mishandled, and that allowed the run to score. So Cole has a chance now. If he can shoot the ball the right side, he puts Sutherland in scoring position with 1 out.
Lifted in the air to left, over is Perkins, and he makes the catch in fair territory for the first out. Sutherland stays at second.
And that's a big out right there for the Cavalry. And it's those little things. By inducing the soft fly ball to left field, does not allow Sutherland to advance, but Bandits still have a chance to drive him in, but just makes the work a little bit tougher.
Wade is a switch hitter, and for the first time tonight, he'll get turned around to bat from the right side. Now that wild pitch with Sutherland on base, that happened back in the 6th inning. He went from second to third, and then it led to another Bandits run. Wade has reached all 4 times tonight, twice on singles, twice on walks. Swings over the top of the first offering from Mulry. Bell tie for a strike, and the count is 0-2.
Good pitch right there, and that's what you need to do. You put himself in an 0-2 count, so now he puts the pressure on the hitter. So it's a gorgeous night. Looking at the forecast, the weekend looks good, but then I'm seeing probability of rain from Sunday onward.
Let's keep it that way.
Well, I tell you what, they could definitely use rain relief in the fire area, so we can only pray and hope that they get some relief in those areas, and hopefully the rain will help soften that situation.
Sunday was going to be a beach day, but, no, you're right. The rain is badly needed and welcomed.
The good thing about the beach and rain, they actually work together. You'll never even know it's raining once you're in the water.
Once you're in the water, yeah. As long as we can stay dry through Saturday, everyone with the Bandits will be happy. For that matter, if it rains everywhere except One Hub Stadium, we'd be thrilled. Driven in the air deep to center field. Podorski going back. He won't catch it, and it is gone. A missile shot out to center. Off the bat of Logan Wade, and the Bandits have broken it open. It's now 9-2.
Wow.
Another Empire jerky home run. Second time tonight that the Bandits have gone deep. And for Wade, he adds to his home run tally. Let's take another look.
Tell you what, he got a pitch right down the middle of the plate, and what good hitters do, he absolutely crushed that baseball. So we've seen some balls carry, but that ball hit 3/4 of the way up the tree in center field and still had carry on it, so that ball was absolutely scorched.
4th homer of the season for Wade, and he's reached base or circled the bases all 5 times tonight. Here's Jeremy Martinez, 1 for 3 with an RBI double and a walk.
We talked about Bandits finding their mojo, and tonight, obviously, after a good finish to the Perth series, seemed to carry some of that momentum back home.
Swing and a miss, 1-1. On the topic of the devastating bushfires going on across Australia, another reminder that Saturday's games here at One Hub Stadium, there's a liner to center, and that'll fall for a base hit. Martinez has his second hit, bobbled by Podorski, but Jeremy will stay put at first. That'll bring in West Darville. Saturday is Bushfire Appeal Day at the ballpark. $1 from every beer sold will go towards the appeal, in addition to $100 for every Bandits home run hit during that doubleheader.
Tell you what, I like that. You know, home runs, and the only thing we need to mix into that is a punch out, and all of a sudden now you got strikeouts, home runs, and cold beer. It's a good combination, and for a very good cause.
Low and away, 1-0. Well, if any of you at home want to donate independently based on how many strikeouts Travis Blackley and Tim Atherton contribute on Saturday, of course we won't stand in your way of doing that. Anything, any amount will help as we try and pull together and stop these fires and return to a sense of normal in this nation. Called strike, and it's 2-1. Darville opened the scoring with a 3-run homer in the first. Also delivered an RBI ground out in the third.
Good block.
Bounced in front of the plate, 3-1.
Like we mentioned, you know, just good ball club, had a lot of momentum, and then now it's just getting back into their playing rhythm again. And another 4-pitch, there's a walk right there. So once again, Bandits continue to put pressure, and the big thing is not just put pressure, but capitalizing with opportunities, and that's really the key for the Bandits, and it's been the missing link most of the year. So, so you knew they weren't far off. It's just, you know, now riding this momentum and all the way through to the next 11 games after this game.
Keith Ward out to have a chat. James Mulry, one would imagine, is going to take one for the team here and try and get through this 8th inning. Barring a miraculous comeback, that'll be the last time a Canberra pitcher will be asked to take the mound tonight. Mitch Nielsen, a switch hitter like Wade before him, bats right-handed for the first time tonight. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. First pitch, strike one.
I'll just give a quick shout out. Daniel White, he's one of the representatives from Townsville, regional representative from Townsville, is actually in attendance tonight. He's actually got a chance to connect with him prior to the game and mentioned this is his first Bandits game. So welcome, Daniel, to One Hub Stadium.
Yeah, welcome, Daniel. You picked a good one.
Yeah, he did. So we fortunate enough to put him just down the third base line with he and his family, and just sporting his Bandits cap, and he's a strong Bandits supporter out in Townsville.
Fouled back. 2-2. Justin Erasmus is continuing to warm for the Bandits. That's it for Teasley. One laborious but scoreless inning. You could maybe go back to him later in the series. High fly into right. Suter is over. Almost overran it, but he makes the catch. That's out number 2.
He's showing off that cannon of an arm in right field.
I would too. If you got it, flaunt it, right?
He does. I tell you what, he's got a plus arm in right field, and he likes to let it fly. So I tell you what, if there is a play at the plate, he's going to definitely put on a show.
Now Wade Dutton, 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, a single and a run scored, and I stand corrected. I thought Mulry was going to finish off this 8th inning, but with one more out to get to send us to the 9th, Keith Ward is going to make a change. Dutton bats right-handed, so that will mean we will see a right-handed pitcher. We're going to take a break and come back after this on Bandits.tv.
It's always been us.
Here's a familiar face back on the mound here at One Hub Stadium. Reese Neat, longtime member of the Bandits. In his first season for the Canberra Cavalry, will be asked to get the final out of the 8th inning. James Mullery went 2/3 of an inning, allowing a run on 2 hits with 2 walks. He is responsible for Jeremy Martinez at second and Wes Darville at first. Neat is making his 7th appearance. No wins, no losses, an ERA of 13.50. Reed's a good dude, and it's a pleasure to see him back here in Brisbane.
Yeah, absolutely. He has been probably, in a few years, primarily a 2-pitch guy, a fastball and a slider, late action on his slider. He's been a very, very good asset for the Bandits for a number of years, and particularly helping getting to the back end to get into Searle to help close out. But a strong competitor, and it's great to see him competing in Canberra and here tonight at One Hub Stadium.
He played 7 years for the Bandits from 2011 to 2018 with a gap in 2014. So that means that he got innings in every championship season. Last year, he pitched in 5 games with an ERA of 8.53. He's had some injury issues, but had some good years for the Bandits. Back in 2013, he pitched in 20 games with a 1.42 ERA.
Yeah, that year he was lights out. It was, when you talk about setup guys, he was probably one of the best setup guys in the league, and really solidified himself in that role for the Bandits.
Here's Wade Dutton. First pitch is low and away, ball 1. Dutton, high drive, left field, grand slam! Wade Dutton empties the bases. I beg your pardon, that's a 3-run home run, but hey, it's still good. 12-2.
Tell you what, he absolutely crushed that baseball.
Three-run shot. Dutton extends his team lead in RBI. And let's take a look. Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff.
And I tell you what, I don't even think it was a strike. We got a chance to see a quick replay on that, but that ball was up and in, and he's somehow able to barrel it up and keep it fair and continue to swing a hot bat after a really good Perth series.
Here's Lutz. First pitch misses. Lutz takes low. Second homer of the inning. That also closes the book for Mullery. He's on the hook for 3 of those runs. Inside corner for a strike. Outside corner for a strike. Now 5 runs in the inning for the Bandits. 2-run homer and a 3-run homer. The Wade shot to center was a line drive, and Dutton's was anything but. It was well hit, but it was a high arcing blast. And now 3-2. Neat ready. And the pitch. Outside. And the inning will continue. Grant Kay is the 9th man to bat here in the 8th. Kay is 0 for 4. He's still looking for his first ABL hit. Have to imagine it was quite an adjustment for him, not only coming over to Australia to play last week, but going all the way over to Perth and then on short rest coming back here.
That's throwing you in the deep end. But you know what? Like at the end of the day, you're playing baseball. You're on the other side of the world, and now just go out there and just enjoy the game.
Chopped foul. 1-1. Justin Erasmus is ready. He has been for a while, for that matter. This has been a long inning, but Bandits aren't complaining. They've doubled their lead from 5 to 10.
Good pitch.
Strike.
Good pitch right there.
Three walks in the inning, and of course the 2 home runs will be what people remember, but if you give good teams free base runners, you're going to pay the price. Kay pops up, foul and out of play. In the 9th for the Cavalry, it'll be Perkins, and Meleon. Fouled off the mask of the catcher, Perkins. You can tell that Kay is just not seeing the ball quite as well as he'd like to.
It's not often, you know, you're coming from the winter, obviously, and the weather hasn't been ideal in the U.S. By any means. It's been cold and snowing in some areas, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're on the other side of the world and you're competing again. So it's never easy to go from the other side of the world and all of a sudden start barreling up baseballs. But Dave will give him chances to get his eye in, and then really for him it's just about just building his confidence at the plate and doing what he does well.
That was fouled off into the Bandits bullpen. And even if they're just fouls, the more pitches he sees, the better he's going to be in the long run. Low and away, 2-2. Needs pitch, gets a swing and a miss, and that ends the 8th inning. But the Bandits bat 9 and score 5. A 2-run homer from Wade, a 3-run homer for Dutton. And we go to the 9th with a 12-2 Brisbane advantage.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. You get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there, and you get to do the sign-off.
Queensland!
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
Beautiful. Moon almost full. Paul, is it going to be a waxing or waning gibbous? How close have you been paying attention?
I'll be honest, I haven't. It looks like a waxing, wax on.
You are correct. It is a waxing gibbous, which means that in a couple nights we will have a full moon.
It is gorgeous, and I tell you what, it is a stunning night tonight. Beautiful temperature and a great night for baseball, and both teams are showcasing their talents, and obviously Bandits are playing probably their best baseball of the year.
Yes, they are.
Tonight.
They have not had too many laughers, and now they're on the verge of having a couple in a row with the finale in Perth, and now a 12-2 lead in this one. Justin Erasmus comes on, gets a strike from Robbie Perkins. Rick Teasley pitched the 8th inning. It was not clean by any means, but he did not allow any runs. 1 hit, 2 walks, no strikeouts for the lefty. Pitch chopped foul, and it's 0-2. We encourage you to stick around after the broadcast, where we will have the Bandits postgame press conference. Lots to talk about in there. Erasmus on the year, no wins, no losses, an ERA of 7.59. This is his 8th appearance, all of them coming in relief. Low and away. 2-2. Popped foul. Keith Ward probably not too happy with the way things have gone for him tonight. First time in more than a week on the playing field, and any time that you're shaking off that much rust, it's going to be a challenge. Erasmus goes vertical to field the comebacker, and he throws to first for the first out. Tomorrow it'll be Corey Taylor on the mound for the Bandits. For the Cavalry, it'll be Philip Pfeiffer. Kyle Perkins is 0 for 3. Back when the Cavalry were still in this game, it was a 3-1 score in the second. He hit a ball up the middle that was caught at ankle height by the shortstop Logan Wade. He doubled off the base runner Robbie Perkins, and things have gone in Brisbane's favor pretty much ever since then. Fouled back. Bandits have scored 9 unanswered runs, including a 5 spot in the 8th inning. Swing and a miss. A strikeout for Erasmus, and the Cavs are down to their final out. It'll be Kelvin Melian, who's 0 for 3 tonight in his season debut. First pitch swinging, popped up on the infield. It's the shortstop, Wade, calling and catching. And the Bandits convincingly win their 3rd straight ball game, opening up round 8 with a 12-2 drubbing of the Cavs. Paul Gonzalez, this was a fun game to watch. And it was the offense that got the job done, but it was all established by the starting pitcher, Ryan Ballinger. If your starting pitching is good, chances are the rest will follow.
Yeah, and the other big real standout is no errors. The defense was outstanding tonight. They really backed their pitching. When they did get in trouble, they had good defense behind them. But 11 hits, 12 runs, that's exactly what David Nielsen and the Brisbane Bandits wanted tonight.
Totals on the board are correct. 12 runs on 11 hits for the Bandits in victory, and they improved to 13 and 16. That is essentially a tie with the Cavalry. Don't go anywhere. After this, we will have the Bandits post-game press conference in just a few minutes, and we will be back in action tomorrow for Game 2 of Round 8 between the Bandits and the Cavs. For Paul Gonzalez, this is Eric Bramer signing off for now. Thanks for watching. Hello everyone and welcome to the Brisbane Bandits post-game press conference after a 12-2 Bandits victory over the Canberra Cavalry in the opener of Round 8. We're now joined in the post-game press conference by manager Keith Ward and catcher Robbie Perkins. First question for Keith. Disappointing night tonight. What did you see out of your team?
I probably struggled for some touch and feel on the mound. And some timing at the plate, and baseball's a game where you need both. So, hopefully we've blown off the cobwebs after being basically, sidelined last weekend, and hopefully the guys can get back on track tomorrow and find some touch and get back after it.
On the topic of not being able to play last weekend, for the fans who might not know what you were able to do, how did the bushfires impact your practice schedule, and what baseball activity did you manage to do?
Yeah, look, we didn't get on the field Saturday, Sunday. The smoke was really bad pretty much all day, every day on Saturday and Sunday, so that kept us off. We scrimmaged on Friday, but we wanted to obviously keep our workload down, knowing that the smoke was around. It still affects guys as far as their breathing goes and their aerobic capacity. So we were able to get a 5 or 6 inning ball game in on the Friday. And then after the weekend, we got back to work on Monday in preparation to come up here. But, at the end of the day, the conditions down there aren't an excuse for us. I mean, probably the biggest thing for us is just having the series off full stop, not playing 4 games, not seeing the game speed stuff over a 4-day period.
J.J. Hoover was able to pitch into the 6th inning. He pitched 117 pitches thrown.
Yeah.
He was able to save the bullpen to some degree. How do you feel about your pitching staff for the rest of the series?
Yeah, look, we're in pretty good shape. Our pitching's been really our strong point from the get-go this season. and we've got some quality arms in the bullpen, and obviously some quality starters for the rest of the three games here. So, we're confident of a good showing for the rest of the series.
Next question is for Robbie Perkins. 2 hits at the plate tonight against a good lefty and Ryan Ballinger. What were you able to do to have success against him?
I think it's a bit of familiarity. I've seen Bollinger over the past couple of years, just, knowing how his stuff moves, being a bit more comfortable at the plate.
How about being behind the plate for seeing a bunch of different pitchers? Things got out of hand there in the 8th inning, but for a while this was a close ball game. What type of game were you trying to call as catcher?
Obviously, calling the game can be difficult in this park at times. It's a very hitter-friendly park, so we're trying to minimise damage as much as possible. We showed signs of that. JJ definitely battled, to get through 5 1/3, 5 2/3, what he got through. There's tremendous effort from him to be able to minimise damage while he was out there. I think Keith hit it on the head. We're just shaking off the cobwebs after not being able to get on out of the field last week.
Pass the microphone to Paul Campy.
Just a question for Keith, mate. I just was watching you tonight, and with the Outlaws in the stands, you did trip them up with your march back into the dugout. How do you feel about the Outlaws and what they yell from the stands?
Look, they're good fun. I mean, obviously they've been up here and doing their thing for the last couple of years, and I know that it's all in good humour, it's all in good fun, and I kind of get a bit of a kick out of it, that the fact that these guys are up sitting in the stands, paying attention to what's going on the field for 9 innings, and I kind of enjoy the banter and the fact that they're having some fun with me and having some fun with the players, and I know the players enjoy it too.
That's all we've got for the Canberra Cavalry. Our thanks to Keith and Robbie for joining us.
No problem. Thank you.
In a few moments, we'll have the Bandits in their half of the post-game press conference. Post-game press conference as we're joined by Wade Dutton, Ryan Ballinger, manager David Nielsen, and Rick Teasley. First question for David Nielsen. This is your first 3-game winning streak since November. Obviously, you finished that Perth series strong. What did you like out of your team tonight?
Well, hitting 3-run home run the first inning always helps. Look, we were pretty relaxed in Perth. I said we had a lot of energy in Perth, and the guys really handled that whole situation there. And I saw something there that I haven't seen all year, and they got a great energy, and this group has a real good belief, and they're just really relaxed, playing really well. So it wasn't surprised we come out tonight and swung the bats well, and Bolly pitched good out of the gate, and we scored some runs early.
You were the better defensive team tonight, and that's not something that could be said of this team at earlier parts of the season. How much does it help when you've got tight defense behind your pitching?
Yeah, it's a game changer. I think we've seen that the last 3 or 4 games, how much our defense has changed since we put Wes at third and Grant K in second base. Our infield's really top shelf defense, is best in the league. So that makes it a lot easier on the pitchers and a lot less balls going through.
Tim Colwell didn't have a hit tonight, but he did use his speed to force a couple of infield errors. How does his speed at the top of this lineup change things for you guys, especially with the absence, for this round at least, of Andrew Campbell?
It's always good to have speed. It puts a lot of pressure on the defense, and when he does get on base, scoring's a lot easier. But he swings about well all the time. It's whether he gets hit or not doesn't really make a difference, because he squares balls up, and again his speed is a real good asset that I can put him in center field when Soupy's down.
Next question is for Rick Teasley, who delivered an inning of solid relief. Rick, you kind of got into a jam there, but you made the right pitch at the right time and got the double play. What were you trying to do in that at bat?
Well, that was it. You've got a nice lead that you like having there in that situation of the game, and you load the bases and it's like, oh, this could go bad. You want to make a pitch that's going to be off the barrel, so we started him off with a changeup. He didn't chase it, but I had told Jeremy we're going to slam cutters in there because that's my ground ball pitch. I get something to third base or shortstop, and the inning can be over as long as I execute it. So we went with that, and it worked out exactly how we hoped.
You're a starter by trade. You've spent most of this season with the Bandits as a starter, but you delivered 5 1/3 no-hit innings in relief last week, and here tonight a scoreless inning late in the ball game. How does that change your preparation, knowing that you're going to be coming out of the bullpen?
It's a little different, just not knowing when, but to stay ready every game of the series, it's actually nice, knowing, hey, I can go out there at any time, and it's almost like, hey, fired up, let's go, you're in. So no time to think about it, just get it done. It's the same game, make pitches. If you make pitches, you usually get out of it, clean, so it's all good.
Next question is for Ryan Bollinger, who earned his first win of the season tonight with 5 good innings. Ryan, how much did having that 3-run first inning help you get into a groove?
It's great getting runs out the gates. It just kind of puts your mind at ease a little bit. You're not putting so much pressure on yourself to be perfect throughout the game, and just makes it easier to attack the zone.
You completed 5 innings, something that I know is a goal of yours when you start a game, and you had 82 pitches thrown through those 5 innings. Did you have a little bit more in the tank?
I thought I did, but I mean, it's not my call.
Keep you fresh for the remainder of the season, I guess. How about the defense behind you? How did that help you to have nice plays made on the infield and in the outfield?
That's always a massive help. Anytime that ball's put in play and you know that you got guys behind you that are going to do their job, they're going to get the outs, and just similar to the 3-run homer in the first, there's a huge sigh of relief. Every time that ball's put in play, you're like, all right, there's an out.
Next question is for Wade Dutton, who delivered a 3-run homer in the 8th inning, capped off a 5-run inning, and extended the Bandits' lead to 10. You started off the game with 2 strikeouts looking, and then you finished the game strong with some pretty good at-bats. Did those early at-bats where you went down looking influence your aggressiveness later on in the game?
Yeah, it does. It does. I was trying to get the ball up with their starter, and he was just throwing nice sliders away, and I was just swinging away, sort of thing. So, yeah, it was good. The last few bats, I was just seeing the ball up and just putting a good swing on it. So, yeah.
Homer came against a former teammate, Reese Neat. Do those at-bats ever have any more significance for you?
Oh, not so much. I've seen Nit a lot of times. So, yeah, he did the same thing to me in Canberra. So I sort of felt like he was going to throw a fastball. So, yeah, just put a good swing on it, and, yeah.
You're leading the team with runs batted in, and we've seen you play all over the field. Rare is the player who benefits from variety in the field, but we've seen you in the infield, in the outfield tonight. You were in left field. How do you channel the uncertainty of where you're going to play into the field into positive results?
Oh, it doesn't really bother me, to be honest. I just, whenever I see the lineup, I just picture it, me playing out there, and go one step by step, and yeah, away we go. So,
pass the microphone to Paul Campion.
I've only got one. Congratulations, David, on the third win in a row, which is fantastic. And Wade, there's some arguments in the stands tonight, just in regards to your bomb in the 8th. People were just saying, I think that's the biggest bomb that's ever been hit here. Would you agree?
Oh, no, to be honest, no. There's a few lefties that, get it on that house out there, so no.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right, that concludes the Brisbane Bandits postgame press conference. Bandits win it by a score of 12-2 over the Cavalry. Round 8 will continue on Friday night with the first pitch at 6 o'clock here at One Hub Stadium. If you can't make it in person, join us here on Bandits.tv for the live broadcast. Thank you for watching.